NBC Sports and the NCAA proudly present the 2025 Division I Men's Golf Championships, presented to you by AT&T and Stiefel, as we're from the Omni La Costa Resort and Spa in Carlsbad, California. And for the second consecutive year, Carlsbad taking center stage in the college golf world. The best players in the game, all with aspirations to finish their season on the highest of notes. We're about 30 miles north of San Diego, just off the coast of the Pacific Ocean. And what a day it is, and a day that we remember and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and our freedom on this Memorial Day, to make moments, days, weeks like this so very possible. Our thanks to everyone that has defended that flag so proudly. Picture perfect Monday, though, weather-wise. Temperatures in the high 60s, the gentlest of breezes out there. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Shaping up to be a good one. Steve Burkowski, happy to be alongside John Cook, part of the 1979 National Championship team at Ohio State. Jim Gallagher Jr., All-American during his days at Tennessee, helping us call the action. Billy Ray Brown, Amelia Duran, they both won national championships at Houston and Wake Forest. Brentley Romine joining us as well for some news and notes on the players. And we've got the individual race. We have the race for 8. A lot in play over the course of the next 3 or 4 hours. We go to the green at the very first hole, the 10th hole of the day, for Michael Lasasso, the Ole Miss Rebel. The junior has this for birdie. He's 9 under par, and he's 2 shots off the lead. Amelia Duran down there watching this group.
Good afternoon, Burko. Lasasso has faced some adversity today. Doubles on 15 and 17. The front 9 is where his talent has really shown. The last 3 days, he was 12 under par on the front, compared to 1 over after the first 3 days on the back. I expect him to play better on this first 9. This putt's going to break to the left.
Nice effort there. Like you said, a little indifferent outgoing 9 holes there, Amelia. Birdied 10 and 11 to start his day, but those 2 doubles that you mentioned sandwiched in by a birdie at the 16th. But he's to steady himself a little bit. He's not out of this.
And he's trying to help his team make match play, the Rebels, with some work to do. So a couple of things in play for Ole Miss today. We head over to 7 and welcome in Jim.
Thank you, Steve. Connor Williams from Arizona State here. 7 under par total. Hole location on that back right portion. Straight downwind. Trying to bounce it and release, and that doesn't. That'll be a long putt for birdie. A tricky little read.
Let's head over to 4. Championship leader Pishak Maishan from Texas A&M. He's getting ready to go. He's 11 under, a 2-shot lead, and Billy Ray Brown has a front row seat.
Certainly do, and he is on cruise control right now. Perfect drive here at the 4th. 94 yards to that hole position, just on the front part of the green. A great time to go ahead and attack a flag.
No doubt about it, Billy Ray. Beautiful golf swing, very well controlled. Trying to hold it up against that right side. And it's well done.
Thanks. Thanks.
Is there sand over there? No. Second shot for Preston Summerhays here at the 9th. Drove it to fairway bunkers, just laying it up. So mistake off the tee. Pretty accessible hole location back center.
You know, I don't mind it in that right bunker, though, Jim. The sand is nice and firm, almost hard pan. It shortens up the golf hole a little bit.
Great
nice
shot. Yeah. Sorry about John. A really good shot by Preston Summerhays as we take a look at the tournament format presented by Titleist. 156 men started the week. There was a cut after yesterday, 54 holes to stroke play, 15 teams, 9 individuals not on those teams advancing to today. An individual champ going to be crowned by The end of this one, about 4 hours from now, then the top 8 teams, they'll move on to match play. Quarters and semis set for Tuesday, then championship Wednesday. Shaping up to be a good one, and the women really set the standard with Northwestern and Stanford a week ago. So glad you could join us, John. You understand what it takes to win a national championship. With so much on the line today, how would you describe the nerves and emotions they're all going to feel out there?
Well, it's a great race for that 8th spot, and you just want to get in that top 8, and it's going to come down to the wire. So it's a matter of the coaches just steadying their guys, make sure everybody is in the game, make sure that no one gives up. You can always bring it back. You need this consistency coming down the stretch.
Second year on the North Course here at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. What changes have you seen in this layout from 12 months ago?
Well, you got to remember, last year was brand new. No one had even been on the golf course, so it was firm, it was fast. This year, the greens are more receptive. The fairways are in a little bit better condition. The greens are running at about 12, but the guys are going to have to really pay attention. They're a little bit firm. There's some great pins out there today, so they better watch themselves.
And we've seen, at least last week with the women, potentially here with the men, as this afternoon wears along, the wind tends to pick up just a little bit, adding to the layers of potential drama we will see here as stroke play wraps up on this Monday. We get back out to the action. We head out to the 7th gym and take a peek at Connor Williams.
Yeah, pretty long putt for birdie coming up this slope. Should break to his right. Goes up a slope right here, now down through the valley, then back up another slope, but it is downwind. Oh, a little bit of work left.
We head over to 4. Peter Kim from BYU has got to look at birdie.
Yeah, coming off this little shoulder on the left-hand side, this putt's going to break right once it hits that shoulder, and really quick coming down the hill.
Looked like it got away from him early, but it kind of steadied up there, Billy Ray, so not a bad effort.
BYU as a team currently 12 over par. That's a tie for 9th. Florida State in that 8th spot at 9 over. John, we have covered a lot of college golf. A 3, 4, 5 shot lead for a team. That's nothing. Divide it by the 4 counting scores and it can disappear in a blink of an eye.
Keep your eye on this leaderboard with the team, because it can happen quickly. 2-shot swings, 3-shot swings by the minute sometimes. So never quite out of it. Like we talked about at the top there, Steve, coaches are looking for consistency. Just make sure that all 5 players are in the game.
This is Paul Chang for Virginia, the senior. Good look here.
Goes up that little ridge and he buries it.
Coming off a win at the Reno Regional, makes birdie there. How about that start to the front 9 for the former walk-on? Played on the club team a few years ago at Virginia. Now he's a big reason why they might make it to match play again. We'll keep it right here for my Sean.
Yeah, put me in, coach. Just give me a chance to play.
I love it. Seize the opportunity when you get a chance. And now Sean. This is a really good look. It's going to break a little bit back to his left. But one thing about him, John Cook, he is a ball striking machine. He is so strong from tee to green. Very impressive with this play.
Yeah, you talk to any of the players, the coaches, they marvel at how he can strike a golf ball. Just a flusher of the golf ball. Now, great opportunity here at 4, moving just to his left, like Billy Ray said. Got to keep the pace up. Yeah, that got left quick and never had the right speed there, Billy Ray. So that's a opportunity wasted.
And he's had a couple on this front 9, his second 9, but still bogey free on this final day of stroke play. Maishan with a 2-shot lead here in Carlsbad. It's going to be fun to watch. Stressful for the young men out there trying to get the job done today, as our coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships is presented by Stiefel. Year number 2 here at Omni La Costa, the 127th edition of these national championships, goes all the way back to 1897 when Yale won that very first national title, a little before our time, John.
I did not play in that first one. I remember the third, but not the first.
Let's head out to 8. Connor Williams from Arizona State getting ready to go. We will follow it with our tracer technology presented by AT&T.
Just 126 yards today. Front left hole location just over that bunker, right in the corner of the green. You have to be so precise with your flight control, trajectory control, distance control, and he missed. Yeah, that's a big miss there. Only 126 yards, but it's a tiny little area. Rolls back in that bunker into the... Looks like that bunker's been turned up a little bit, so that's going to be tough.
Preston Stout here at 11. Move the tee over to the left side. If you watched, we're out there watching. It was up on the high on the right side. Could get to this 316 on a direct line right at it. He's at 4 under par for Oklahoma State.
Got that big dog out there, Jim, so he's taking a go.
Yep. That's bailing out to the right. Yeah, I have plenty of green to work with. Depends on the kick. Oh, that's going to be a good kick. I thought it was going to go further right. Actually, this is really going to be good.
That's really well done. It'd be a tough 2-putt, but what a quality tee shot that was.
It really narrows up there, but wonderful shot by Astaire now for birdie here at 9. Goes up and over this slope, a break to his right. He's at 5 under par for the U.S. Amateur Champion. Up at Hazeltine last year. A nice 2-putt for him here. Arizona State at 13 under, tied with Auburn at that top spot, so they're pretty safe to say in right now. With 10 over at Florida State is the team on the bubble, so plenty of golf left. It's a beautiful day here at La Costa. We'll be right back. Our leader here at the 5th, Maishan's second shot.
Laid well back with his tee shot. That was from 184 with a helping breeze. Plays uphill 3 yards from that position.
Oh, no.
Watch out.
That's surprising because a lot of players try to sneak it up. That's going to be a tricky a little chip shot coming back up that slope. Big break from left to right, too. Big mistake. 8.
All right, let's go there to the par 3. Connor Williams, second from that front bunker.
Yeah, ball sitting down a little bit, Steve, and just trying to get it out. And that was not clean contact, so making a mess of this 126-yard beast.
All right, back at 11, Stout for eagle. There's a big slope right between, about halfway there. Swings it hard to the right, but he's going to go up that other slope on the right side. I didn't get to it in time. Nice, goes right up that little funnel. A lot of movement in this green, but what a great tee shot. Easy tap-in birdie for him. Beautiful play there.
Oklahoma State in a good spot right now, Jim, as a team, 5th. Going to move to 2 under now with that birdie, so a dozen shots to play with.
Yep. That's the beauty of this green. You got so much movement.
8.
You got Oklahoma State playing well. Now this little slider. Coyven. He just firmed it in that right center. Nice
Coyven did everything as a freshman. He led Auburn to a national title, clean sweep of all the Player of the Year award honors, and obviously loves the North Course here at Omni La Costa.
Good player, Jackson Coyven. Let's take a look at the golf course. There's 7,500 yards, original Dick Wilson design. Played here many times, Jim as well, in the Tournament of Champions. Gil Hansen, Jim Wagner renovated it a couple years ago. 419 from tee to green. Pure distinction, bent grass on the greens, average size 6,200 square feet. That's about average. David Smallwood and his crew has done a wonderful job. Jeff Wilson, the superintendent of the North Course. Good old friend Dustin Irwin. Mike Mulford, the director of golf here. Great test of golf. Golf course is really settled in, starting to get, a little more character to it. The greens are settling in. Everybody loves it. Good spot to have this great event.
Yeah, we touched on the top of the show about that 12 months of maturity, and I think you hit on a key word there, the character. It's really starting to show what it's going to be for years to come here.
A lot of variety in the golf course, too. There's a lot of different tees they can play.
That's why the scores are better, both in the women and the men. I think just the golf course and them getting to know it, it's just really matured nicely.
All right, let's go back to 8. Let's see if Arizona State sophomore Connor Williams can save his par. He is 7 under, 4 shots off the lead, more golf to play than Maishan and Lasasso. The question is, will he use that as a benefit? A 3 here would serve him well.
Yeah, the easier 9 is the outgoing 9 holes here, so he's got to make his hay right here and then hang on. But this is a big putt for Connor. Made a mess of this little golf hole. They can stretch it back to a little over 200 yards, playing at only a 126 today.
Yeah, the variety you can see with these par 3s will be shown over the next few days. Over at Lasasso, that is, at 2, his second on the par 5.
275 hole. This is going to get there, laying hole high. How about that soft bounce?
Easy now. He'll just wander off down below the green, so he'll be either pitching or putting up that hill. It was a better shot than that.
Yeah, second or third shot for Maishan here at 5.
The only mistake over the green here, he's going to try to land this ball short and just pitch it up this slope here.
We went a little bit low with this. Got to go, though.
I'm really surprised, Jim, that he didn't try, because he's playing back uphill and into the wind. I thought he might try to fly that ball in the green with the sandwich and use a little check, but chose the other option.
Yeah, I agree. I think that may be the safest option, but I think he could have landed it back into that slope and used the slope. It will kick it to the right, but nonetheless, he's got a long putt for par, and he might still be out.
More than likely, it looks like he is going to be next play. I'll keep you in tune here.
Yeah, I was on the range, and Dudley Hart and J.C. Deacon from Florida, they were videoing his golf swing and just admiring it. And we all were just sitting there going like, man, this is just beautiful. And I think that's the beauty of it. And you look here, he's got a 2-shot lead with a long par putt. Michael Lasasso's got just over the green at 2. He had some mistakes on that back 9 on 15 and 17 made double. Connor Williams just probably going to make bogey there. But some holes left. Koiven has some holes left.
Keep an eye on Koiven.
Yes.
Even though the back 9 more difficult, the numbers say he's as good as anyone in the country. And if Maishan and Lasasso open up the door just a little bit, you could see Koiven maybe getting to 8-9 under par.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is do they let him back in this? All right, Kim's par putt here.
Yeah, it's been an adventure for Kim on this hole. Drove in the native area to the right, hit it left of the green, and played what I think is a wonderful shot with this third. Now a really good chance to save par.
Yeah, 6 top 10s on the year. He's had a really solid year, but there's a mistake. A little bit of work left yet. Got a little frisky with that one.
Ballester playing with Koiven as well, U.S. Amateur champ. I could see, John, one of those two guys maybe shooting 32 on that back 9.
They certainly are not afraid of the big stage.
And Maishan now is for par.
And this putt, as it comes back up the hill, Jim, has got quite a bit of break from left to right. And he's got to hit it firm enough to come up that slope, but once it starts turning to the right, it will definitely pick up some pace.
Yeah, if he doesn't play it high enough, it'll really pick up some pace. You can see it's kind of dark, which is going to kind of play back into the so-called grain. You don't have a lot of grain on bent. It gets about halfway there, you can see it lighter, and that's where the speed will pick up. Well, he left himself 184 in. A lot of guys drove it all the way up there hitting wedges in, so it's easy to second guess the strategy off the tee because you're trying to avoid the bunker in the middle, but he's still got a little bit of work left for bogey, so I think that set it all up. That was a long shot coming into this green. So he's got that for bogey, so he's going to drop a shot, bringing a few more guys back into the mix. Better watch out. We'll be right back.
We're about 30 miles north of San Diego, Carlsbad, California. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, the North Course, for the second consecutive year, hosting the Division I Men's National Golf Championships. Got a good one. Individual title going to be determined by day's end. Pishak Maishan from Texas A&M. He's 10 under, 1 clear of Michael Lasasso, the Ole Miss Rebel. Koiven Williams, 4 back. Ballester, USAM champ, 5 off the pace. A lot can happen on these finishing holes, John Cook.
No doubt about it. And Jose Ballester and Jackson Coyven finishing on that back nine, like we talked about. They are used to the big stage, trying to run these guys down.
All right, let's go over to 2. This is Florida State standout Luke Clanton. The Seminoles on that 8th and final spot. And Amelia, Clanton struggling today, 4 over par.
Clanton was over the green and just hit this chip too far. Has hit a lot of good putts today. They just haven't gone in. That combination of missing it in the wrong spot and not converting the putts will lead to an over par round.
Yeah, right now he and Jack Bigham are kind of the non-counters, but that will certainly help Florida State's run into the top 8, and they need the show pony right here to show what he's made of.
Yeah, Clanton's been very vocal. He came back to school to help his team win a national championship. He's not going to win individually, but rest assured, he is going to give it his all to get the Seminoles to match play once again as we take a look at the finalists for the Fred Haskins Award, presented by Stiefel, handed out each and every year to the top male collegiate golfer. These are the 5 finalists remaining: Jackson Coyven, Luke Clanton, Michael Lasasso, Pishak Maishan, and David Ford. All remarkable seasons.
Yes.
I can let you know voting still open, concludes after today, and it is the closest vote tabulation they've had in nearly 15 years.
All very, very worthy of that Haskins Award. Like I said, Luke Clanton has just had a standout year, you know, on the PGA Tour, and I commend him for coming back to school. He didn't really have to, but he did, because they finished runner-up last year. And I remember we had a bad year the year before that we ended up winning, and there was a lot of reasons to come back to school, and that's for your teammates, for your friends, for your coach, for your school. I commend Luke for coming back to school and trying to get it done.
Yeah, there's something to say about this day and age of looking ahead, the next level, to remember you're never going to get these days back, John. You only have 1 or 2 go-arounds, if you're lucky, to win a national championship.
And for Luke Clanton, the PGA Tour is just waiting for him. He just walk on whenever he chooses to. So, yeah, for him to come back to school, I applaud him.
All right, let's see what Lasasso will do here at the 2nd.
Lasasso was just taking a drop from the sprinkler heads, which were a club length within the green, and his golf ball in line was also over the green like Clanton and just hit it a groove low. It almost looked like he was in between what kind of shot to play, whether to bump it into the hill or land it on the green. This is the 2nd time he's hit a chip like that. Did it on the 18th. Also a par 5, wasn't able to convert with birdie. It gets so stressful coming down the stretch because Lasasso is not only trying to win individually, but Ole Miss right now is outside of that top 8 bubble. Into the grain putt here. This will turn left as it gets towards the hole.
And this for a share of the lead.
Yeah, a little indifferent pitch shot, like Amelia said. I was down there earlier and I was trying to hit pitches and I ended up putting it up that slope. And now he's made a mess of it after a pretty good 2nd shot that did not get rewarded. He's got a 5-footer for par now.
And Amelia touched on it. When you have an individual trying to win a national championship and then your team, like Ole Miss, on the outside looking in, Chris Malloy, the head coach, it's an intriguing dynamic of, I know you need to do this, but as a team, we really need for this to happen as we watch Maishan on the tee here at 6.
Yeah, definitely a par 5 he can get here in 2, but this one's headed right. That fairway bunker's certainly in play.
Yeah, BR looked like he got just a little bit late on that downswing, and now that's going to be a layup for sure. Front left hole location, barely on the putting surface.
All right, 2nd shot for Arizona State's Connor Williams, Escondido native. John Cook likes the fairway bunker here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard pan, easy to, you know, good catch there. Shortens up the golf hole by a good 10-15 yards, and that was a pretty good play.
Actually pretty good.
All right, let's go back to the green at 2. Michael Lasasso, the junior for the Rebels. Good bit of work remaining to stay 1 back.
Certainly a good bit of work. It's around the greens and the putting where the small muscles can get into play, because the ball striking for Lasasso has been great. Not a ton of break in this putt, just need to keep up the speed.
Oh, that was aggressive.
Yeah, he'll
Yeah,
keep
right.
it at 9 under. You see the colorful opening 9 for Michael. Settled in now, 3 consecutive pars.
All right, over at 3, Carson Brewer for 3. Look how much break he's playing for Florida State. This could help the team as well.
Yeah, kind of running that ridge there, Jim.
Ran it.
Slider.
Yeah, nicely
birdie.
done. Nice birdie there. That's the tricky part. You got guys in the individual having a chance, and that strategy coming to the end. I got a chance to win individually, got a chance to work for the team, so it's always things they have to juggle.
It's something Missy Forquet a week ago with the women from Arizona State, Jim, when they were trying to get into match play. She shared with us that I'm kind of happy none of her girls, as she said, had a chance to win. They could truly focus on what the team was trying to do.
It's a tough dynamics. All right, Clark. Ben Galen now for OU. Oklahoma 4 under par as a team. They're right now tied for 3rd with Florida, safely in. Ryan Hibble was not happy with the way they finished. The head coach, saw him out this morning doing a little work, but I expect OU to be there. Oh, that's going to be a long putt for par. They'll be tough in match play. They've had a really solid season in the SEC for the first year. You know what they did in the Big 12 over years. They know how to get it done. Ryan
Yeah, the
Hibble's one of
Sooners,
the best.
5 wins
Yep.
this year, including the Amherst Regional. So maybe after a somewhat lean year, the Sooners back to where we've grown accustomed to seeing them for the last decade or so. We go to the green at the 3rd. Yeah, we'll go to the tee. There is the green at the 3rd, and according to Bush Snell, it's 162 yards to the front, 185 to the hole, 191 to the back, and the new Bush Snell Tour Hybrid provides exact distance to the pin with the laser, as well as the front, center, and back distances via the unit's onboard GPS. This is Clanton ready to go.
Clanton trying to hit a cut into this flag, doing a nice job at that.
Easy now. Good strike, a little bit deep, but good shot. He'd be putting back up the hill and away from the ocean, so that you won't have to worry about pace.
All right, Lasasso over on the right side of the tee tells me he's maybe going to try to play a little left to right shot.
That's really how you want to play this shot, Jim, especially with the green pitching from right to left. It's also downwind. With how firm these greens are, you just have to be hitting cuts in here to get them to land softly. 185, you want to play, though, around a 175 shot.
Yes, he has got his shoulders lined up kind of in the left center of that bunker. Long's better than short here. Hole locations, kind of on a little plateau. Got 4 or 5 of those tough hole locations. That should release nicely. Okay, that'll be just fine. Back at 9. Williams now for birdie. Depends what it does coming out of this fringe. It will probably go a little right at the end if it goes. Just tough to make yourself hit it firm enough out of there. So he'll make par here at the 9th out of the fairway bunker. Arizona State, 1 shot back of Auburn. They're in 2nd place, solidly in. 1 shot lead on the individual, my Sean.
Back at 6, Maishan with a 1-shot lead and getting ready to hit his 3rd.
Yeah, had to lay it up after putting his drive in the fairway bunker. Now 117 back uphill, plays 9 yards back uphill in this hole locations on that front left portion. Small target, and this is headed left.
Yeah, cannot miss it to the right. You saw his body stop there, Billy Ray, and that's always going to be a pull.
And that's not going to be easy from that position, John, at all, to get that up and down to save his par.
Not at all. He has to worry about getting it past that flag, Billy Ray, and off that other right-hand side. That'll go 20 yards off the green. So a little bit of a mistake there for Hychok. So 2 in a row, 5 and 6.
All right, back at the 3rd hole. Luke Clanton now for back-to-back birdies.
Great lead from Clanton, now putting back up the hill into the grain. It's always hard to get yourself to hit it with enough pace, especially with how quick these downhill putts are. It's going to swing to the left, so this is all a matter of matching line and speed. Got to be careful, though, and don't hit this with too much pace, because there is a slope that will take this behind the hole.
Yeah, we talked about the PGA Tour run he had last year, the tournaments he played in, but he won the regionals by, what, 4 shots, 15 under par. That's not going to get to the hole.
Yeah, it was going back up a little bit of a slope right there and into the mountain. So that was going to be a slow putt to begin with.
And as we watched last week, the greens slowed down as they normally do, and they slowed down in the afternoon. There's still wind out there, but not as much as I expected. I thought we'd get a little bit more wind, but Lasasso now for the good chance for another birdie.
Well, the fact that Lasasso got to watch Clanton hit that putt and it come up short, I would expect Lasasso to give this a little more pace. This will turn left as it goes up towards the hole.
It'd be a big putt for Ole Miss. They're at 10 over. They're 3 back of Florida State, who is on the bubble at that 8th spot. Texas is 1 shot ahead of them. Virginia, another shot ahead of them. So not a great read, but he's going to make par. Headed on the proper side. It's just a little bit slower going up that hill than these guys are expecting. I mentioned Virginia's at 5 over, Texas is 6 over, Florida State at 7 over, Ole Miss at 10. Texas Tech had a great afternoon yesterday. They're 2 back of that, so still quite a bit of work left. Lasasso makes par. And this is the easier finishing 9 than if you're finishing on the other side for these teams. So I'll look for them to make that run towards that 8th spot. There's a look there. All right, Van Galen now for his par. He left himself a good, 8-10 feet, John.
Yeah, no doubt. A little power outage on that first putt from down below the front part of the green, and
Recharged himself there. He knocked that by the hole.
that's not done.
So, kind of a mistake there.
All right, make our way over to 6. Looks like my Sean gonna get ready to go. This is 4th.
It's going to be Chan to play his 3rd from over the green. He got unlucky. The ball hit right in the center of the green was his approach here and really kicked hard. He avoided the native grass just behind the green, and now this is so difficult. He's going to potentially have some issues here with the backswing with that long native grass behind. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah, got thrown a curveball, John. We saw Paul Chang up by the hole location. We're thinking he's got about a 10 or 15 foot putt. Now he's got about a 25-yard pitch.
That went miles over the green, Billy Ray.
It certainly did, and he's going to actually have to play this shot out to the left a bit here. There is a collection area between himself and the hole, just on the right-hand side, about 25 feet from the hole. He's got to go left of that.
Now, if he goes too far to the left, there's a slope over there. Easy now. Now, that's out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll go down that hill another 20 yards. So big mistake there. Way over the back of the green. Might have got a big kick, but you have to play from short. Any miss on this hole has to be short of the green with this hole location.
There's a great look high above, seeing where Chang is now walking to. Now, my Sean, it is his 4th, looks to be putter in hand.
Yeah, this is really difficult. This ball is going to bounce pretty drastically as it comes back up the hill through the fairway against the grain here. This is a percentage play here.
Yeah, he made the mistake back there at 5, hitting it well over the green, and that just never had enough energy going through there. Now, a couple mistakes in a row here for my Sean.
We said if he provided help, Jim, others have a chance to make up some ground.
Preston Summerhays now 316, direct line right at it. So Stout knock it on the green. A couple groups before that. That'll be left.
Gets through there.
Okay, not bad.
Be all right.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult.
What a golfing family.
Yeah, it's been a busy week for the entire family. Grace was here last week, shortly after her graduation from Arizona State. Preston, also degree in hand. And you know what? Kudos to Mom, Barbara Jean, getting the job done as well, right? Show the kids that Mom and Dad can set a good example what to do in the classroom. Congrats to all three.
What a wonderful golfing family all the way through. Aunts and uncles and kids and nephews.
Synonymous with the game of golf. All right, we're going to make our way back down to the green here at 6. Peter Kim from BYU getting ready to go.
Yeah, putting back up the same slope that my son did as well. He'll definitely have a watchful eye on this putt.
Yeah, pretty well played.
All right, keep it here. My Sean still off the green, trying to save par and remain at 10 under.
Well, it's going to be total guesswork from this position here. Even though he's almost 4 feet off the putting surface, it's still back into the grain from that fairway mown area there. This ball's going to bounce as well.
Yeah, and if you gas it too hard here, Billy Ray, there's a little slope at the, beyond this hole, so he's got to be careful. And just good speed on it.
And his assistant coach there, Matt Fast, give him a little read there.
John, we've worked together a long time. You've always said take care of your par 3s and don't make 6 on par 5s.
That's how you play this game of golf. Is you cannot give away the 3s and certainly don't give away the par 5s.
Back-to-back bogeys for My Sean, now a co-leader at 9 under. Lasasso and My Sean leading the way here in California. We are back in Carlsbad, California. Our coverage of the 2025 NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships continues, and it is presented by AT&T, an individual title on the line for this final day of stroke play, as well as the top 8 teams that will move on to match play the quarterfinals starting on Tuesday morning. But Pishak Maishan, he's opened the door. Back-to-back bogeys, now 9 under, tied at the top with Michael Lasasso, and some others now thinking they're in the mix as well, Jim.
Absolutely. Preston Summerhays now at 11, needs to release towards the hole. That's pretty good there. Very nice. Had a decent lie. Actually, probably better to be in that, like, I wouldn't call it rough by any means. They had a lot more rough last year.
Like 112 swing. Should land past and spin back over.
All right, execute it.
Yeah.
Let's go to 4 with Luke Clanton.
115 yards for Clanton, laid the farthest back, which I like this play to the front.
That's 2 wedge numbers.
Yep.
Trey Jones alongside, longtime Florida State head coach, saying, I love it, trust the wedge numbers, and according to Bushnell, it is 115 yards to the hole.
Downwind on this wedge shot. Clanton still needs to make sure he lands this about 5 paces short. He has 9 paces to work with.
Get it?
Yeah. Go.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike, catch that little ridge to the left. Oh, it stays up. Good opportunity there for Luke.
Seminoles a little breathing room in the 7th spot as a team. It's 7 over. Virginia 8 over in 8th.
All right, Summerhays for birdie here at 11. Let's get him to 3 under par. And oh, you can't miss that after that beautiful chip shot. But he did. Oh, I didn't see that happen. Arizona State's a couple back of Auburn for the top spot. You gotta keep grinding, obviously.
All right, Make our way back over to 4. Look from high above as we get ready to watch Michael Lasasso.
It was an aggressive shot from Lasasso off the tee, just 80 yards, making it difficult to put some spin on this to a slightly elevated green. John, you alluded to that little slope on that left side. Want to make sure you land this hole high.
Yeah, got a little bit too much. You were right on the money there,
I think it's 2.5.
Emilia. It's just a little too close.
Not a single.
Go for an 11. Koiven now got over that right side of the tee. 3 under on his round. Couple birdies in the last 4 or 5 holes, trying to get it to draw back towards that hole.
Man, he does not get cheated on a driver swing, does he?
He doesn't, but that's going to be a tough shot. He got
That's
down
gonna
in
be
that
rough.
rough and got those big slopes. That's going to have to pay attention on that one. May have to go out to the right. Tries to get too aggressive. Brings that back part of the green into play, into the water.
But Jackson Koiven, another standout year, the SEC Player of the Year for the Auburn Tigers. Out of the gates early, winning at Inverness in September, now coming in on a heater, winning the SEC Championship in the regional just a couple of weeks ago. And remember, a stroke behind the ultimate champion Hiroshi Tai in 2024. He was finished tied for second at Omni La Costa Resort and Spa. He's going to most likely get point number 20. A top 10 finish will give him his 20th point in the PGA Tour Accelerated program. He could go right to the PGA Tour after this week. He has said he's coming back to Auburn, going to be back for his junior season.
Yeah, I commend him for that. You know, he's so young. Obviously an accomplished player, and what a start to his career there at Auburn. But I think one more year of college
Absolutely.
might do him pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, pro golf's not going anywhere.
It's not.
This is the best time of your life, and you know you still can get after it on the PGA Tour. These guys are walking down the 7th, and I think for any of these guys, I mean, yeah, it entices you to want to go out there and turn into pro, be on the PGA Tour. But man, these are some great times in your life. Try to win a national championship. Get better out here on. You know, if you're beating everybody every week, I get it. I think that's when maybe you make that decision.
Yeah, we sort of saw that with Rose Zhang a couple of years ago. She played in 10 events, won 8 of them. Ann Walker, while hating a loser, was the first one to say, "You're ready." You guys know, what was the biggest challenge leaving Tennessee and Ohio State and making that jump to the PGA Tour in terms of talent and everything that goes along with the highest level?
Well, I was a little bit torn because we had won the NCAAs in '79, and I decided to turn pro later that fall. I just felt it was the right timing, and I knew I had played in some tour events, U.S. Open, Masters, Bay Hill, made the cut in all those tournaments. So I felt that I was ready, and I thought the timing was right. My only regret was I didn't go back and help defend with my teammates at Ohio State, and the NCAAs were at Scarlet that year. So
my goal was to get a degree. I was the first person in my family to go to college. And I wasn't ready, honestly. I never dreamed about a PGA Tour event. I was a much better pro than I was in college, which was good for my professional career. But my number one goal was to graduate in 4 years, get my degree, and then get after it. Because you're going to get beat up on the PGA Tour. I don't care how good you are, because everybody's good on the PGA Tour.
They're good.
They're good here at this level, too. But you see, getting the yardage, Matt Fast, who played at Mississippi State, played Korn Ferry Tour for 4 or 5 years, understands the golf swing. 60. Good friend of mine, and I think he's a big plus for my shot.
I think it's 70 up in the air with 8.
But then 70s playing.
Oh, you're talking about?
You know what I mean? Just talking about
wind. It's a 9 iron then.
Just take it 30 feet short.
Yeah. I can't control the golf off the bunker as well as the fairway. So yeah, I think so.
Get down, knock it out. What are you going to do? All right.
And Jim, to your point, having Coach Fast there, because he has made a
Clean
mess.
one of those is perfect. Center of the green, like a flag left.
At the 5th and 6th, he needed to put this ball in the fairway here. Now he's got a perfect line in the bunker, far enough back where that lip of the bunker is not going to present an issue. His total is 188, but all he's trying to do is hit this ball somewhere right around 170 yards, take it to the center of the green. If he gets within 30 feet, that would be a good shot. There's no need to try to attack this flag, especially the fall off on the right-hand side.
I think even at this level, to have someone out there telling you, hey, settle down, you can still do it, because when you're out there on your own, you're on an island by yourself, and it can get lonely. Oh,
Yep.
how about that shot?
I got to tell you, that is so brave to play that shot there. Another 2 feet to the right, that goes down in that collection area, and he is in all kind of trouble down there.
Might have settled himself down just in time.
Didn't know by the reaction
No.
he was going to love the ultimate result. We go to the green at 10. Arizona State's Connor Williams, long look at birdie.
Yeah, over Little Ridge, then down the back side.
How about that?
Makes a bogey at the 126-yard 8th hole. Makes a nice 40-foot down the hill. Don't count Connor Williams out of this story.
Over at 4, Michael Lasasso for birdie in the outright lead.
Very awkward putt. Got to have a precise read.
Did he ever? Right in the center. Calm him down a little bit with, got a par 5 coming up.
Yeah, you always wonder, do you want more holes to play, a couple back, or do you post a number and say, maybe that's enough?
Yeah, get out front and post one.
This is the green at 10. Clark Van Galen from Oklahoma looking to get to 4 under.
Get him back to +1 for the day.
An immense talent. Ryan Hibble bullish on this young man. Some of the speeds those numbers spit out when you're hitting balls in the range, kind of scary.
All right, back at 11, a couple options. You'd be really brave and go at it, but you've got to make sure you carry this bunker. But if you go that direction, the back of the green's in place, so it's the penalty area. You go just right of it and see what he does.
Lands on that downslope, Jim.
That's
outstanding.
Sporty right there. Back in the wind helped, but still, that's really, really good. Great shot for Koiven. Chance for one more. Can he break into the lead or close to the lead? We'll see.
Great crew with you from La Costa. Thrilled to have our college ties. Some of our teams are here, some aren't. The Gators looking to win a national championship for the 2nd time in 3 years. Hair doesn't get much better than that in the late 70s from John Cook.
Actually, hair there.
Black and white photos, enough said there. No color back then. Amelia Duran winning a national championship for Wake Forest. Billy Ray Brown, an individual champion, a 3-time champion as well. Look at Brentley Romine in the water, part of a water polo team. That's athletic right there. We got some great student athletes here this week in Carlsbad, California. All right, let's head back out to the action at 7, Jim.
Yeah, my shot. What a shot. He hit it out of that fairway bunker up. We've seen a couple really good shots. Koiven hit a really good one at 11, and then this, now he's got a chance for birdie.
What a play. I mean, he took a huge chance, and actually, in my opinion, probably could put himself out of the tournament if he misses right there down that collection area. As you said, Jim, now a putt that comes back up the hill. Not overall, not a lot of break in this putt. Might try to work back toward the back of the green at the end. Let's start losing some pace.
It did. Move right to the back right, but you know what? When you drove it, you make 4 here, you go on it. I know he gets frustrated sometimes because this club right here, you know, when you hit it as good as he does, it can kind of get in your head. But 4 is a good score, especially coming off 2 bogeys back to back. Back over to the 5, Clanton.
Clanton laid pretty far back, 168 yards. Still want to land this towards the front part of the green. Green does pitch to that right side. So you land on that front left, it should kick.
Yeah, that'll work just fine. Would like to carry a little further, but that'll work. So guys, good chance for birdie for Clinton. Speaking of a good chance for birdie, what a shot Koivu in there. You guys said he's really worked hard on his game, on his short game. Man, it has paid off there, John.
He's world class right here. This part of the game, one of the best putters in the game. Down the slope. Did you read it correctly? He did. What an up and down.
That is a great three, because you just don't make many threes from there without making a 25, 30 footer. But he had it only, what, 10 feet, gets him to 8 under, just a couple back. And this guy, back-to-back birdies, knows how to get it done.
He knows how to close it out. He has won a lot of golf tournaments in his 2 years at Auburn.
And just a couple of shots off the lead of Michael Lasasso. Even though that back nine statistically harder, Koivu maybe has been under this microscope a couple more times than Lasasso and Maishan as we pick up Lasasso here. 10 under with the 1-shot lead and getting ready here at the 5th. That's a long walk up there, Jim.
Yeah, it is. It's he's had it up and down. He's made a bunch of birdies, made a couple doubles.
This was an incredible tee shot for Lasasso. Carried it past that bunker, 345-yard shot. Now just 70 yards in. Definitely a birdie hole. Pitching back into the slope. You just land this 5 to 7 paces short of the flag. Let it skip and stop right next to the hole. Lasasso also coming off of great momentum with that birdie.
Yeah, we talk about the individual race, but Ole Miss is right now at 9 over. They are right on the number. They've got a 1-shot lead over Virginia, 3 on Texas Tech, and they're 3 back of Florida State. So not only on the individual side, but the team side, so important. Birdie would go a long way. Pretty sporty there.
Yeah, really good shot by Lasasso. He will have that to get to 11 under par, try to extend his lead, hoping to win an NCAA individual championship. And for more on Lasasso, we welcome in Brentley Romine.
Yeah, Berko, we talked about Michael Lasasso's adversity that he faced on that opening 9 today. Well, he's no stranger to this adversity. You go back to last year's SEC championship, contracted a stomach virus, lost 22 pounds. Earlier this spring, got the flu in Puerto Rico. And then a couple months ago in Cabo, one of the most bizarre injuries I've ever seen in college golf. He stepped on a sea urchin. Took 4 hours for doctors to remove the dozens of spines from his right foot. But he battled through. He's had an All-American season, and his coach call him a gritty player. He's going to need every bit of that grit down the stretch as he looks to potentially win an NCAA individual title.
Yeah, when you watch him walk, he walks kind of like Gary Woodland's got that strut, that kind of confident walk, which I'd love to watch, that kind of the gladiator getting into the arena. But he's got kind of that look, confident as he should be. He's had such a great year, and you know, a couple mistakes, but he's still hanging in there. But a good chance for birdie here at 5.
All right, let's go over to 8. Ben James from Virginia. This for par. The Cavaliers currently a couple of shots outside that magic number. Ben James a counting score. So now Virginia's going to be 2 shots off that 8th and final spot. They're finishing up on the front 9, John. So they're going to have to sit, watch, wait, and hope for a couple hours to see if they're going to get the job done. We go to 11.
Connor Williams laid up here at 11. This is his 2nd shot. He's at 7 under par.
He's got to be careful here, Jim. If he flies it past this hole, it'll get back to that penalty area, but that was really nicely done.
Well, I played maybe to his strength. Didn't feel like he could get it up there close enough. Kind of it is a risk reward today. I like the tee. I love the look of the tee up on the hill, but I like it down here. It makes these challenge guys to think, because that's what you want these guys to do. Make a decision. Do I lay it up or do I go for it?
Make our way across the golf course. Tee at 8, getting ready to watch Maishan play, and we'll watch it with our tracer technology presented by AT&T.
Just a gap wedge here, helping win 126 in a hole location. You step back on the tee, not much room to fit it in on that left-hand side. Last year, there was no chance to keep this ball on the green. This year, a different story.
Yeah, really well done there, Billy Ray. It's so easy when you're hitting a short iron downwind like that to get the ball knocked out of the sky and in that front bunker. So that was really nicely done.
Yeah, that's one of the firmest greens on the golf course, no doubt. Van Galen's second shot here. This is awkward here at 11. Got a sandful or mouthful of sand, but you know what? It was worth it.
Well, I can't tell you how great a shot that was.
We see some awesome shots there.
With the penalty area behind the green there, out of that bunker, it's so easy to catch at a groove low and send one. That was outstanding.
Yeah, that's why these guys are up towards the top of the leaderboard. OU at 5 under par as a team. That'll help them maybe get to 6 under par. Now Lasasso now for birdie at 5.
For back-to-back birdies for Lasasso, coming back down the hill, this will turn left. Anytime I felt pressure individually, what helped alleviate that was to think about the team, which is something Lasasso needs to do. This birdie would go a long way, not only individually, but for Ole Miss.
Yeah, his 5th birdie for Ole Miss. That would get them to 8 over and a 3-shot lead over Virginia for that last spot, and only 2 back of Florida State. Ah, cannot leave that short. Beautiful drive, though. Didn't take advantage of it. That's the beauty of golf. To 12.
Lasasso 10 under, Maishan 9. This man, Jackson Koiven 8, ready to go here at the par 3.
Second hardest hole on the golf course today, 251 yards. Looked like that right foot slipped, and this is going left.
OB over there.
Yeah, if it stays up, that actually is an okay miss.
Koiven work to do at 12, 8 under. 2 shots off the lead of Michael Lasasso, the Ole Miss Rebel, trying to win a national championship.
Back at the 11th, Connor Williams has this for birdie. Hit a beautiful shot in here. Just get to 8 under par.
Yeah, Jim laid the ball up to a comfortable position. Nice wedge shot in here.
That's a tough read. The ball's got, there's slopes on both sides. It kind of makes you, it's a lot straighter back here. It's kind of like in a little bit of a trough. Obviously, he thought it was going to go left. Played it the way he thought it'd give him the best chance for birdie, but he just didn't make the putt. Wong Manny now a moment ago. This at Virginia. This is for birdie at 9. They could need this. He could use this putt. Slow coming out of this fringe.
Yeah, wants to move a little to the right.
Yeah, he's a counting score.
Right there, they need 2.
Yep, that'll
They
go
got
a long
1.
way. Yep, absolutely.
Or could get help from the Rebels, too. But
Yep.
you want to try to take care of your own business.
Absolutely, yep.
Well, that's what every coach tells these guys.
Take care of your own business.
Great finish there for Josh. 71 in this final round. Quick moment to let you know some other honors throughout the course of the week, like the Elite 90 winner going to Aiden Tran of Georgia Tech, the junior perfect 4.0 in business and finance. Yellow Jackets part of a playoff this morning with Wake Forest to get that 15th and final tee time. They didn't get the job done, but you know what? Kudos to Tran for getting the job done when it really matters.
Good for him. That's the definition of a student athlete right there.
You had a 4.0 at Ohio State, right?
Cumulative.
Yeah, 2.0. Yeah. Doing the sprint.
Added them all up.
In my 3 years, yeah.
Congratulations to Aiden Tran for winning this year's Elite 90 here at the Men's Division I Golf Championships. Great crowds. We saw it with the women, even more so with the men this week. This weather, this venue, year 2. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, another 2-year extension on top of year 3 next year. Trying to make it like Omaha for college baseball.
You're never going to have to worry about weather around here. It's the same almost every single day, whether it's in January or June or July. It's, 65 to 72 degrees. You're going to have early morning offshore winds back to onshore in the afternoon. That's just the way it's going to be. So it's consistent.
Let's go to 12. Koiven, his second.
Plenty of green to work with. It's going to move, kind of wander to the right. Not his best effort right there for Jackson.
That's the one part of his game that he's trying to get to where everything else is because it's so good. Over to 9.
All right, Ben James now in the bunker. This is his 3rd shot. Made the mistake at the last hole. Don't need to be losing any more strokes. Went back with Old Miss. Up and down would go a long way.
Ooh, well, I took a peek there, Jim.
Yeah, it sure did. It's still
Good
got
shot.
5 feet for par. Kind of a tricky little putt.
Keeps him in the ball game, though.
Yep.
Knock that one in and see what happens.
All right, let's drop back 1 to 8. Pishak Maishan has got this for birdie to get back to 10 under.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a must-make here. This putt's going to move a little bit to his left from the get-go. There's a small little slope to his right about midway through this putt that's going to push the ball left.
That one started offline and continued there, Billy Ray. Not his best effort. Now he's going to have to rely on playing the 9th hole efficiently and making a birdie there.
Maishan, work to do. Trails by 1. Lasasso with an advantage, but a weight as well. Not a care in the world, at least by that expression, as Lasasso looking to become the 2nd Rebel and join Braden Thornberry as an NCAA individual champion. Back in California, time to take a look at college memories presented by Stiefel. And we go back 1 year ago. Auburn, Florida State national title on the line. The Tigers looking for their very first. This was Brendan Valdez closing things out, a 4-3 win for Auburn to get a point.
And that's what you want your best players, your standouts.
Well, Jay
rise for
Butler
the occasion.
was a standout for sure. One up against Luke Clanton. This was his 2nd at 17, so they were getting a little bit closer. But how about Clanton to make it interesting coming out of the fairway bunker?
Had to pick it clean up on that face of the bunker. Swung as hard as he could, come up just short when everybody else is just kind of pitching it back to the fairway. Gave himself a chance.
Yeah, and he gave it a heck of a run, but it opened the door for J.M. Butler 2 putts to win the match, get point number 3 for the Auburn Tigers. Their 10th win of the season, one of the greats we have seen in recent memory in men's college golf, and with it, the Auburn Tigers became national champs. Butler took the brunt of that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Don't go Teddy Ginn on us right there. Break his leg.
And they're back. They're leading the way this year. Maybe a chance for 2 in a row.
I feel like I do need to swim.
Well, after a good long wait here for Lasasso at 6, trying to make some memories of his own. He's got a 1-shot lead.
Well, it's always difficult coming off of momentum for Lasasso making birdie on the 4th to then have to sit on a tee box and wait. This par 5 is reachable. Just got to avoid that bunker on the right. 300 to get in it.
What'd you do in moments like that, Amelia, if you had a 10, 15-minute slowdown?
I would talk to my players, people I was playing with. Sometimes my coach was there. You just got to take your mind off the golf. You cannot be thinking about the shots ahead of you. Otherwise, it's just going to get way too blurry up there in the head.
He's birdied this hole the previous 3 rounds of stroke play.
Wild swing off the tee here, Amelia.
I'm watching it now. It's hitting the cart path, and it's actually going to get an incredible bounce into the fairway. He's going to have less than 200 yards in.
John, that could have gone anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah, very, very fortunate right there. It was a wild swing after a long wait, and there it is, way up there.
What a break for Lasasso. He knows it.
Maybe you know it's your time. You get breaks like that.
All right, let's go to the green at 8. Short one for Maishan to stay at 9 under.
Yeah, has no idea what's happening with Lasasso behind him on the 6th. Has to take care of his own business. Give himself a good birdie opportunity there at the 9th.
All right, big time putt for Ben James. See if he can knock this in for par for Virginia. They're a couple back of Ole Miss right now. Okay, good save. Good up and down from the bunker.
Will it be enough, though, for the Cavaliers, currently in ninth at 10 over, 2 behind the Rebels? Let's head over to 12. Jackson Coyven, the Auburn sophomore. He's in the mix, trying to stay 2 back.
Yeah, good 15 feet now for par. Missed the green to the left on this 251-yard par 3. Yeah, it's going to stay right there most all the time. Is just a little bit of an ocean pull there to the right. Not a lot. These greens are just settling in.
You referenced that back 9 finishing stretch. 12's the second most difficult, 14 the most difficult. Maybe guys like Maishan finishing up here at 9, Jim, big time advantage.
Yeah, going with driver here, trying to get it out there. Get it in the fairway, number 1. Played birdie, par, bogey so far this week on this hole.
And that wind, Jim, has picked up a bit in and from the right here at the 9th.
Beautiful balanced swing there, Billy Ray.
Yep.
Beautiful tee shot.
That'll set up just nicely that whole location as we've seen back in the back center. He needs a birdie here to catch Lasasso, but Lasasso got a break of his life. Will he make birdie? Will he make eagle? We'll have to wait.
We are back in Carlsbad, California. Coverage of the 2025 Men's NCAA Division I Golf Championships continues, and it is presented by AT&T. A great look from high above, John. The tee at 9, how much the players want to maybe force it down there, take on that right-hand side, because Pishak Maishan, this is his last hole of this stroke play championship, and he's 1 off the lead of Michael Lasasso.
Reminds me a little bit of a Pete Dye par 4, where he challenges you to get it as close to the trouble as possible. If you do that, it cuts down the yardage on the hole, opens up the center of the green. So the more aggressive you get with that tee shot up the right-hand side, the easier the second shot plays up that little bit of a hill. Pretty easy pin today, kind of in the center of the green towards the back. I like pressing it up that right-hand side, shorten up this golf hole a little bit, because that right bunker is not that bad. It's kind of hard-packed sand. 433 yards today.
2 pages short. Up 5. Up 5. That's at 65, shot 8. 57, and then into the window. Not a ton of wind, but yeah. It's on 9. 9 gets up in the air. No, it's okay. 5. So what's the total number? 57? Yeah. 62 shots and 8 iron. And then right at it. 62 flies to it. 60 shot.
Push now. 151 to the hole.
Not that much breezer, but high 50s probably be. No? Right at it. Yep. You want to pitch it short. There's just not that much air hitting it right now.
Yeah, I got it.
John, he went more toward the center of the fairway, so he's got 151 left. Wind is in and from the left here. That bunker guards that front left part of the green. Really not in play, but it is visually intimidating.
Coach Cortan is now with him. Matt Fast was with him previously.
Like he cut off that follow-through, playing a low skipper in there.
Didn't quite skip, did it?
Yeah, they got over.
Like the shot, though.
Yeah. Sorry for that first round pin. Between our number.
And just alongside the 9th, you see the 6th, and that's where Michael Lasasso is working his way down the fairway. So maybe those two are separated by a couple hundred yards. They're separated by a shot on the individual leaderboard, but they really have no indication of what each other's doing. Let's see if Lasasso takes advantage of that break.
After 2 bounces on the cart path for his tee shot, that was just from 187 yards. Definitely wanted to try and get something up on that green. That right miss, though, was okay with that flag on the left.
Yeah, he's going to be pitching up that hill. He will not be able to see his landing spot. But he does have plenty of green to work with. But that slope there, too, he's got to make sure he gets it at least over that little false front, or it come right back down to his feet.
Let's go over to Tim Wiedemeyer at the 8th, Red Raider from the good folks in Lubbock. See what he can do on the short par 3.
126 today. Just a little flip wedge, and how about, well, I think he did all right.
I think he did. Best of the day. Good shot, Wiedemeyer.
Pushed it just a little, though.
Oh, you're tough.
Tough crowd.
All right, top 8. They move on to match play. Ole Miss currently in that 8th and final spot. 2 clear of Virginia. The Cavaliers finishing up here on 9. So they're going to post, and then they're going to sit, wait, watch, see if they can move on, get another day of golf.
They need some help.
All right, over at 16, Oklahoma State's Preston Stout. Tee shot on the way.
163 yards today. Whole location over in that left-hand corner, and that's a really well-played shot for Preston.
It is a really good shot, but we have seen better golf shots on this particular hole, the North Course on the La Costa Resort and Spa. You got to go back to 1997, John. The course was underwater. This was about the only hole they could have a playoff.
It was the 7th hole at that time, the par 3, because all they needed to do was just tee the ball up into play. And that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was. Well, Tom Lehman's like, oh gosh, here he goes. And this was just the beginning of that magical run and the great things we saw from Tiger Woods seemingly each and every time he had a chance to win a golf tournament. And not much has changed. And here, though, there have been some changes. The renovation, the Hands Golf Course design to open for play for everyone June 1st after last year's national championship. 6 sets of new tees. 11 you can make drivable. Tee box added on 18. Could play over 600 yards. Environmental improvements using reclaimed water and natural drought-tolerant native plants. 16, move that green a little bit. Makes it look like Augusta National's 12th. And some amazing champions through the years here. So many times the PGA Tour, 3+ decades, made a stop at La Costa. The LPGA had a couple of events here as well, and 2nd consecutive year, the NCAA Men's and Women's Division I Golf Championships. Over at 6, Lasasso, his 3rd.
That was just an excellent chip, given the circumstances and the fact that on 18 and 2, Lasasso had a similar chip and was not able to get it close.
Yeah, that was all about the contact and the catch, and he caught it perfectly. Have to be aggressive with that, or you could leave it.
That definitely tested his nerves, and his nerves are just fine. That's a look down at the 9th green, way above. Maishan will be next for birdie.
What a wonderful second shot that he played in there. A little unlucky the ball didn't chase back, but played the correct shot.
Got Matt Fastback reading the putts for him. Assistant coach.
They left in a pretty good position here. And it comes up that little, just a little ridge in between himself and the hole here. This is very doable here. His speed's been spot on.
That little slope will kick this to the right just a little bit.
Gotta go. He did everything but hit it. He's had a couple chances. That wasn't, that was 25, 30 feet, but he'll make par at 9. Post 72, 9 under for the tournament. On back of Lasasso, who's got a chance for birdie at 6.
Think he's done enough, Jim?
No, I really don't. Close.
Yeah, Lasasso's got a short putt for birdie, but he has to play the tough 7th, and you've seen what the 8th hole's been doing to players.
Over at 12, Connor Williams, Arizona State. That was for par. That seemed to be a bit wishful, but he makes his 3.
Good par there at the 251-yard par 3.
Drivable.
Drivable par 3.
All right, set over to the green at 6. Luke Clanton for Florida State. The Seminoles in the 7th spot right now, Amelia. 6 over as a team. A little bit of breathing room, but they could use this man, Luke Clanton, to just try to put it on cruise control coming in.
Well, it's funny when you get to a par 5 coming down the stretch, you think you can get one back here. Clanton's made it stressful, got too cute with his 3rd shot, ended up in that right bowl. Now as this 4-footer for par, not the easiest one to read either. Back down the hill, it's going to want to turn a little left, but if you play too far out to the right, it's going to go right.
Counting score right now here too, Amelia, because Jack Bigham is +5 on the day, so this is a big putt.
Clanton's been playing with so much passion as well. You can see it in his body language. He wants this so bad for his team.
To that point, John, can you want it too much that it could be detrimental as Clanton makes bogey?
100%, absolutely. You're playing the PGA Tour, you're playing, and you're playing golf, you're playing for yourself. But in this, there's a lot of other players that are, counting on you as being the leader of the team.
Can't make bogeys on par 5s. Paul Chang now for Virginia.
He's
birdie.
the counting score.
Yep.
And the last chance for the Cavaliers.
Wait a minute.
Hello, darling.
69-69 the last 2 days for the former walk-on, a member of the club team at the University of Virginia. And that putt, about 2 hours from now, might be good enough for the Cavaliers to get back into match play at the NCAA Championships. We'll wait to find out about that. Lasasso, this at 6 for a 2-shot lead.
Beautiful pitch shot from down below.
I still go back to that tee shot, and the break he got could have easily gone left up into the junk and make 6, 7, 8. He just made 4.
Yeah, and 7's a good driving hole, so we'll see what he does.
All right, let's go over to the green at 8. This is Kai Meeks for the Rebels. They're teetering on that ace spot. That was for par. Kai Meeks, a counting score currently for Ole Miss. Cameron Tankersley, he is 3 over. So the race for that 8th and final spot getting just a little bit tighter. Florida State, they're not securely through yet. First 4 teams, maybe even 5, they're looking good. But Texas, Florida State, Ole Miss, Virginia, work to do on this Monday. We are back at the Division I Men's Golf Championships, Carlsbad, California. Michael Lasasso, the junior for Ole Miss, 11 under par, 2-shot lead over Maishan, who finished up with even par 72. Jackson Coyven, Connor Williams, holes to play on that more difficult back 9. Both those two 4 shots off the pace of Lasasso, but I still go back to the break. Michael just got off the tee at 6. What could have been 6, 7 or worse, he turned into a 4.
Yeah, cut that cart path a couple times. Just left of that cart path is the native area, which is a pitch out. So took advantage of that great break. Does have the tough tee shot at 7 coming up. And then that dastardly little 8th hole, 126 yards, giving a lot of players fits. So this is not over by any means, but Michael Lasasso seems to be in control.
And while we have a moment, we send it down to Billy Ray Brown, who's with P-Shock Maishan.
Certainly so, Burko. P-Shock, really hard day out there today, given some of the conditions. Coming down the stretch, you got yourself in position to win the individual title. Talk about some of the pressures coming down the stretch on these final 9 holes.
Yeah, there's a lot. Obviously, it's one of the biggest events that you're going to play in college. And, yeah, it's just tough. It made me hit a little squirrely coming down the stretch. Had to take a couple deep breaths to kind of reset myself. But it was definitely fun. That's what you kind of play for.
You know, when things were kind of going bad there at 5 and 6, we saw both coaches come out and try to calm you down. What was some of those words of wisdom they gave you?
They just kept saying breathe, you know. I was breathing fast. I was swinging it fast. I was swinging it short. They just kind of tried to bring me back to what I was playing the last 3 days. But it was just simple things like, you know, try to make me laugh and all. But no, it was definitely fun.
Well, congratulations on a great round today. We'll wait and watch, see what happens.
Thank you. Thank you.
Burko?
Candid response from Maishan, John, to say, you know what? I was out of sorts.
I got going fast. I needed to slow down. That's something that he'll learn and take that to the next level.
Lesson driver for Lasasso.
Got to make sure, lesson driver, that you're short of that right bunker.
Looked like it was bouncing. I'm not sure if it got
Big
into
kick.
that bunker or not.
Even at 13, this for par, hit it in the bunker. This is a tough read here. This is stay 7 under.
Tough hole location.
Yeah, it is.
Swung across the hole there, Jim.
Yeah, it's one of those. This one, 15, 17. They're tough locations. All right, Albright, second shot. He counts for Florida State. The second shot at the 9th.
Yeah, playing well today. Grad student from Ocala, 1 under in this final round.
Sure he is.
He had it in that right bunker. But, just sailed on him.
That should be. That might be a little bump around chip shot, but kind of came out of there, as you said, pretty hot. Carson Brewer now. This for birdie here at the 7th green.
Also a counting score for Florida State, leading the way to this point for the Seminoles, 3 under on the round.
Yeah, they're at 7 over. Ole Miss is at 8. Virginia's in at 9. So the Virginia women made that finish last week to get into match play. Could it be the men? But right now, he's trying to knock this one in.
I asked you, did Maishan do enough at 9 under? You said no. Has Virginia done enough at 9 over to make match play?
You're asking me a lot of tough questions. That's going to be right at the number, I think. Like you said, there's 2 or 3 guys on Ole Miss still. Florida State, they've got three holes to play. 7's a tough one. 8's no gimme, as you said. But you know, these guys are still college players, and they know what's at stake. Coaches know where they stand. Can you pay it off? He's trying to get that knee to buckle in there to get that to stay on line. But one thing they got to do, they just got to keep grinding it out. You got to kind of stay in the moment, stay in the process. We talk about it, keep it as simple as you can. I know people are like, well, that sounds simple. Well, that's the hardest thing, is to execute, to stay in the process. You heard Maishan talk about, I'm breathing fast, I'm swinging fast. Those are all things you keep on learning as you go through this process. But I think if you do the process, it kind of calms your nerves and you focus in on that.
Tee at 8. Tyler Weaver set to go here for the Florida State Seminoles. He's 1 under, currently a counter as well.
126 yards means 119 to the front, and that's a big miss short and to the right.
And we've seen some other players have trouble with the bunkers at 8.
Yeah, if that ball it comes back into its own little track mark.
Like Gray Albright, will he bump it into the slope, land it on the green? Goes low with it. Did he?
See what he did there? He tried to run it up that hill. If you try to bounce it into that hill, it bounces once or twice, come right back to your feet. That was well played.
All right, Cohen Trolio for par, of course, runner-up in the U.S. Junior. Watch this young man play since he was a little bitty guy. His dad, VJ, has taught he, and his brother Collins has been the sub this week.
Yeah, he was the runner-up in that Junior Am in 2021 to Nick Dunlap. Cohen started at LSU, transferred to Oxford, and a new environment has kind of released some of the talent you've known that he's had for some time.
It has, and I think it was a good move for him. Things just didn't work out at LSU, and you know, he's closer to home. His dad's now at Frederica, teaching pro down there now. Oh, that hurts. He has hit the ball really well. He told me all week long, I've watched him play for 2 or 3 days. He goes, I've hit the ball great, but that club right there let him down.
Counting score, the Rebels give 1 back.
All right, Kai Meeks now for birdie. He hadn't counted any day except for right now. He's a counting scorer.
Well, up the hill, and this is a total misread, guys, here.
We saw the identical putt hit a little while ago from the same spot.
Did it, yep. And this next read's no gimme. Pressure. It's on.
On a rules official.
Sasso's ball waiting on a rules official. He'll get to mark that, move the rake, and make sure it doesn't move. I don't know if that's a break or not, depending on his stance, but we'll have to see. It could be a really awkward lie. Might have been better off in the bunker.
It's a little awkward, Jim. I would say he would be better off in the bunker, except for the fact that you can get some weird lies in these bunkers with the rake seam. So it can be hard to spin it.
All right. Well, we wait here. Let's hit the 9. Kai Meeks now, big putt here, BR.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen a lot of misreads, but that had really fooled that initial putt for Meeks. Now, this is not an easy read either, because there's a little bitty slope that he has to come over. I think this one is at the end, John, might go back a little bit to the right here.
It does, doesn't it, John?
Definitely, absolutely. It'll work its way to the right. You think that it would kind of straighten out, but it will continue to break to the right.
He's planning on it to break right. Tugged it. Trolio makes bogey at 7. Makes bogey at 9. Rebels going in the wrong direction here.
These teams fighting for that 8th and final spot, finding themselves in difficult spots like Weaver here at 8, having to play a second, John, away from that hole location.
Just did not like the looks of going at that pin, so he played it out to the right. Now he's got a good 50 feet now for par. Big breaker from right to left. This little 126-yarder.
Back to 7. Here's our rules official.
It's just easier to get back to the exact spot.
So mark it.
But leave the ball there.
Mark it, but don't lift the ball.
Okay.
Now we're going to lift the rake, and the ball moved,
Just a touch, yeah.
but it didn't back move, so we're going to replace it.
Pick it up.
Yeah, you can pick it up, and then we're going to try and get it.
Right there.
Okay, let's try that, see if it'll stay there. Okay?
Ball's in play.
Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see if this is a break or not, but nonetheless, he has no option on that.
Right. So we own that spot.
I was messing with some of the spectators. They were asking me, what's the ruling? I was joking, oh, he has to play it as it lies. Michael was right behind me. He said, I don't think so.
Down 5.
My group would have made me.
Yep.
And we got 7 behind it. We're just trying to land this probably 10, 12 short of this pin.
Probably more than that.
You like 18 short?
Yeah.
So that's 176 land, and that doesn't count any kind of wind.
So 18 short puts it where? Green. On the greens.
So this pin's 25, so 18 short puts it right here where this arrow is.
70. That's 76.
That's 76.
Okay.
And that's without any kind of wind adjustment.
So what are you thinking?
It's like a 69 shot.
Okay.
You like that?
Yeah.
Commit to it.
What's going to help Lasasso with this lie is the fact that the green on that left side slopes to the left. This could help offset that bounce. The green does narrow up to that back portion, so you have to land something towards the front of the green. Really important to keep your balance on this shot.
And his stance is fine. He's not having to step into the bunker, so this is very doable. Just don't be right.
No, my God.
Good point.
And that will go over the green, and that is big time mistake for Lasasso, big time mistake for Ole Miss, going in the wrong direction. We're not done yet.
Individual champ going to be crowned here by Days and Michael Lasasso, the Ole Miss Rebel Jr. 11 under, 2-shot lead over Pishak Maishan from Texas A&M, who's in at 9 under par. He will hang around. He'll wait, see maybe is there some bonus golf in the offing. Also the potential for some extra holes here. The race for 8th, the team's moving on to match play in the quarterfinals on Tuesday. Florida State, Virginia, Ole Miss, they're waiting, they're watching. Virginia, their job is done, and what a job it was. 4 under on the day. Their head coach, Bowen Sargent, down with Brentley.
Bowen, Virginia in the clubhouse at 9 over par. You guys were 11 over after the first day. Describe the fight from your guys these last 3 days, and particularly today on the back nine.
Yeah, they played great. I hadn't added it up, but I would imagine they probably played some of the best golf of the tournament the last 3 rounds. So just a super resilient group. And, ACC champions, they wanted to get in this mix again for the 3rd year in a row, and just super proud of them.
And your former club golfer, Paul Chang, he sent you every score for 3 years. How much did his performance today, including at number 9, validate that decision 2 summers ago to give him a spot?
Well, it's been easy here the last year to kind of know that that was the right decision. And, that putt on 9 certainly confirmed it for sure. But awesome birdie there. We really needed that. But he's played awesome all week, and just super proud of him to take this opportunity and take advantage of it. It's not easy, and he's done great work there at UVA.
Bowen, appreciate the time. Great plan by your guys, and now we wait.
Thank you.
You heard Bowen Sargent talk about it, trying to make match play for the 3rd consecutive year at the NCAAs, and this is the putt he referenced by Paul Chang at 9 for birdie. Club team to walk on. Hey, coach, I'm pretty good. Other guys on the Cavaliers team saying, he can help us. Well, he just helped in a really big way there. We'll see if it's enough, Jim.
Yes, Lasasso's 3rd now from over the green at 7.
Have to have incredibly soft hands on this pitch.
And some talent. Got both. Very good. Great shot there.
We move ahead 1 to 8. Tyler Weaver, Florida State, the sophomore from England. This for bogey. He is a counting score.
Oh, that is a bad time to make a double on this 126-yard par 3.
It can get going quickly in the wrong direction out here.
Absolutely. That's what this game is all about. When it starts going bad, it can go at you fast.
Speaking of wrong direction, Williams for triple hit it in the penalty area off the tee. That is not good. Fortunately, Arizona State's comfortably in, but they're tied with Auburn up to this point, but that's not going to help.
But that's how you quickly go from a counting score for your team
Correct.
to a non-counter. Because everyone at home is going to say, why do they say currently a counter, not counting? One hole, one swing changes everything.
Yep, 4 out of 5 each day. Lasasso definitely a counting score. This big-time par.
Every shot, every putt feels big for Lasasso right now.
He was right there.
It's really important when you're coming down the stretch. You can bring in a coach for a read, but don't over-deliberate what you've done so well all week. He's been putting really nicely. Now it's just a matter of trusting that line, your stroke. Really important to focus on that tempo.
What I've noticed, John, he hasn't changed his demeanor, which I love. It's been the same. He's out. I mean, there's pressure. Coach, Malloy's there going, all right, what's he got here, Coach? So, but he's handled it demeanor-wise. Now, inside, we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you can't get outside your process either. Your pacing is so important.
Oh, that's a big-time putt there. Speaking of good pace and in the process, he made 4 either way. Head shaker. That's a tough hole, he says. Absolutely, it's a tough hole.
That's what Owen did.
Let's go to 18, the par 5 finisher, Matthew Crest, the junior for the Florida Gators. His 3rd. And the SEC champions playing really well here in this final day of stroke play.
Yeah, great setup for Matthew.
Did he?
Oh, why
He
not?
did.
Laid the ball up in a perfect position, used some slope right there.
Dudley Hart can flat coach, can he?
That's good coaching, son. That's all it is. Crest is a California kid who, like Paul Chang, begged his way onto the Florida Gator golf team. J.C. Deacon finally relented. He helped 2 years ago. He's helping again in 2025. Florida up to 3rd. team from Texas A&M. They're going to sit and see if Pishak Maishan has done enough to win an individual championship. Our coverage from La Costa continues, and it is presented by Stiefel. Even par 72 for the Texas A&M senior, in at 9 under, 2 behind Michael Lasasso of Ole Miss, who's got 2 holes to go. And Maishan trying to become the first ever Aggie to win the men's NCAA individual title. All right, let's go to the green at 8. Cohen Trolio for the Rebels. Got this for birdie. Again, currently a counting score for Chris Malloy's team. The Rebels, you see on the outside looking in, at least for the moment, 10 over par. A shot behind Virginia. The Cavaliers already done. Florida State also at 9 over. Couple holes remaining for the Seminoles.
Pretty good breaker from right to left, and not as fast as you think, as it's going back into the mountain. You got to get it way out there to the right, hit it pretty hard. That's well done.
So Trolio likely to make his 3. Should be no issues there. In this group, Carson Brewer from Florida State leading the way for the Seminoles today at 3 under. He's got a bogey putt upcoming. So Virginia, Jim and John, continue to look a little bit better, just like the women a week ago. They posted, they hung around, and sometimes these finishing holes, the nerves, the moment gets really big. Let's head over to 14. Jackson Coyven, Auburn sophomore, trying to stay at 6 under.
Yeah, he's kind of gone a little bit sideways since he made that beautiful up and down in 11. He's really struggled.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 straight bogeys for the SEC Player of the Year.
Started at 12 when he hooked that iron shot. Weaver's second shot at 9.
Yeah, the wind's starting to crease just a little bit. This is on a pretty good line, guys.
Oh, carried it about 3 feet too far, but that's a good lead from behind the hole.
Definitely doable.
Looking down on the green at 8, Carson Brewer for Florida State, the sophomore from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. 3 top 10s this year. Tied for 44th, that is, at ACCs. Tied for 27th at the regional a couple weeks ago. And the next 20 minutes for Carson, Luke Clanton, and all of Florida State. It's going to get really tense, John.
Yeah, 8th hole, 126 yards today, and it has moved up to the 2nd toughest hole on the golf course.
Wow. Double wow.
And that's going to be a double bogey for Brewer. Still a counting score, and the Seminoles going to drop 2 shots. All right, let's go to 18. Preston Stout, Oklahoma State sophomore, 6 under, going to give it a go here at the par 5 finisher.
Good tee shot, going to give it a go.
Looks to be heading left.
Let's see if it gets through.
Oh boy.
Cart path. Uh-oh.
Well, be quick to get to the scorer's tent.
That was, if it happened to go, would have tied Maishan in at 9 under.
Just a little outside.
All right, green at 8 clear. Michael Lasasso with the 2-shot lead, ready to go.
Have to be right of this flag. Virtually no room long.
Emilia, 2nd toughest hole on the golf course today, and he hit it exactly where you said he should.
Yeah.
Right of the hole.
I like that.
Lasasso getting a little bit closer to an individual title here at La Casa. 11 under, 2-shot lead, 2 to go. We're back at 8. Florida State junior, top-ranked amateur in the world, Luke Clanton, needs to do something special. Florida State on the outside looking in. See what Clanton can do. We'll follow it with our tracer technology presented by AT&T.
Oh, this is a pull. This needs to get down.
Yeah, they will always go a little bit further. Now he's not going to like this. Short side. Looks like it might even got up against that back part of the bunker.
All right, Weaver for birdie from Florida State here at 9. Depends what it does out of this little fringe.
Well, this is a great look. As you said, just coming out of that fringe.
Got to hit it, BR.
Oh, I had it dead on line.
And you can feel the pressure here inside. I know these guys are feeling it.
Well, they needed that one.
Yeah, he did.
They are going the wrong direction.
Yep, they are one back of Ole Miss. And Clanton in trouble.
We thought the front side was the easier finish. It's
Yeah,
not
well,
just shaping up that way, is it?
No. Speaking of tough holes right here, Koivu now. Second shot at 15, hole location on that back plateau. Do not want to get too greedy with this one. That's a smart play. It's just so hard to get it close downwind. It's the flattest part of this plateau, but a couple steps long. Penalty area is in play. All right, Clanton now.
This at 8, and this is his only option.
And with a plugged lie, you just got to make sure you hold the green, and this still needs to sit.
Clanton's 3 over, Jack Bigham 5 over, the drop score. It might get to the point where Clanton doesn't impact the total.
Oh, but that's going to impact the Rebels. Fisher, that was for par. He's had it going today. Great round doing today, and he'll make bogey. That's a solid 68, but he would love to have that one over again, but he's not going to get to.
But they're not in this position without Fisher shooting.
Correct.
Under.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to Clanton at 8, his 3rd.
Across the green, really slow putt, has to get way up into the grain, into the mountain, and very unlike Luke Clanton making some of these mistakes.
Well, it's crazy. It's such a short hole, just 126 yards, but it causes so much fits for the players. Both Carson Brewer and Tyler Weaver from Florida State made 5. Clanton's going to get lucky if he walks away with 4 on this hole.
The nerves, the emotions, the pressure, all tied into the fact, Amelia, you're playing for your team. You don't want to let them down.
And that's really where the pressure comes from, being afraid of messing up for the people you care about so much. You just have to find a way to flip that narrative into a positive. Lasasso.
Yep, for birdie.
Got a pretty good idea of how slow this putt can get from Clanton.
Yeah, big breaker too. Hello. Oh, just up that right edge, but he played the hole the way you're supposed to.
And he played with Braden Thornberry, the 2017 individual champ, a couple weeks ago. They've been texting with one another. Braden's helping him get not wrapped up into the individual accolades, but helping boost the confidence. And Lasasso always talks about Braden looking fondly back at the win 8 years ago. And he said, man, if I could do it, it'd be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and Braden's got his card on the PGA Tour this year after a few years on the Corn Ferry. I just saw him at Zurich, and a North Mississippi kid. It just was a dream, but could be a dream here for Lasasso as well.
And I remember that Rich Harvest Farms 2017. We're coming on the air. You know who had the lead in that championship? Scotty Scheffler.
He's done pretty good since then.
It's worked out all right. Lasasso with his par, 11 under, 1 to go. So that helps him individually. It helps the Rebels as a team. While they're all important, Amelia, you get the sense Luke Clanton needs somehow, some way to make this putt for bogey.
It's the hardest feeling when you sense that your team is starting to lose it. I remember back in 2021 at Greyhawk, Wake Forest, we were struggling coming down the stretch, and I was the last person to finish, and I could just feel the tension. Clanton got a great idea of this putt from Michael Sasso. It will swing to the left and be slow.
This is the time for him to step up. I know it's for bogey.
Good job, Luke. Good job, son.
How good is that by Luke Clanton? If you want to get a sense of why the team is the only thing that matters to him, he was the individual runner-up, tied for second a year ago here at La Costa. The trophy's long gone. It's in the garbage. He's here to win a team title. He needs to do something at the 9th to help FSU get out of that 9th spot and have a date tomorrow in the quarterfinals.
Back at the 9th hole, Lasasso, one of the most important drives he'll hit this week. Less than driver. Birdied it the last 2 days. Right, job number 1 accomplished.
Priority 1.
All right, Florida State's Carson Brewer now.
Yeah, this putt's coming back up the slope.
Didn't want him to leave himself that one.
No, that's
My
a tricky
goodness.
read, too. Got his full attention, so is his teammates. That's the hardest part. It's just, you're just trying so hard, but there's Clanton on the tee now.
What helps these players coming down the stretch, this fairway is fairly generous.
Birdied it yesterday. Uh-oh, slipped. Scotty Scheffler shuffle works.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to hit a cut into that right-hand side right there, so kind of spun out, but turned out all right.
All right, Chris Malloy told me Cohen Trolia was going to play well this week. This for birdie.
Yeah, this putt is going to turn a little bit to the right. Wonderful second shot he played in here.
Did he? Oh, my. Wow, what a good putt.
No. That was a fantastic putt.
Yeah. So he'll get in with a par, 1 over today. Been a solid week, 5 over for the week, but man, that would have got a long way for him. All you can do is hit good putts. He did that. Coach Malloy will give him a little hug there. Great look down here at the 9th fairway. The fans are allowed to walk in, so kind of a cool thing they're able to do this week. And back up at the green, Brewer's got a putt for par.
And a lengthy one at that. Not easy read as well. It is going to go a little bit to the left.
And they're 1 back of Ole Miss. Got to have this.
You can feel the pressure here at the 9th hole right now.
Yeah, BR, he's marked this ball twice now. Attaboy, good putt. Yep, you want to see these guys make putts like that. That's a good, solid par. It was right in the middle of the hole. Confident stroke. He
And it
shoots
keeps
71.
FSU 1 behind those Ole Miss Rebels.
Correct.
With 1 group remaining, Clanton and Lasasso. We go to 18. Preston Stout, Oklahoma State. This will be an all-world 4.
Hit a nice pitch shot from way long. Good finish there for Preston.
Won the Big 12 championship back-to-back years. Morgan Hoffman, the only other Cowboy to accomplish that feat. And another really good postseason week here for Stout, currently solo 3rd at 7 under par.
Yeah, Oklahoma State in at 1 under. They're in the 5th spot, so good week for them as well.
Just keeps improving every single year he's been there at Oklahoma State.
And there's Genevieve C. Fournier. All day long, the 18th hole American flag pin has been tended by an ROTC service member from San Diego State. Earlier today, it was Brianna M. Green. She's a sophomore at Grossmont College, looking to become a remotely piloted aircraft operator in the Air Force. Catherine Peterson also in the mix today. And on this Memorial Day, so special, so meaningful, as again we remember and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and our freedom. Could not do it without those 3 women and the countless tens of thousands who have done it for so long.
Just amazing.
Lasasso, second shot at 9.
150 yards for Lasasso. He's taken this in from the right.
Wow.
Quality golf shot
Yep,
right there.
excellent. They love it, and he's gonna love it. Kai Meeks there, Todd Fisher. There's Collins Trolio, Cohen's brother. Clanton now.
120 for Clanton. Needs to be careful of adrenaline right here. There's a little knob on the left side you can use to spin this back.
Staring at it.
Pretty much had to make it. Gave it a go. Good shot.
Well, now he needs to make that,
Needs to
and
flip.
Lasasso needs
Correct.
to miss to force a team playoff for that 8th and final spot.
Yeah, that question Damon and them asked me on golf today. You know, what do you do as a coach? You've got a kid, you know, a player that's got a chance to win the individual. You got to play, you know, for the team. Of course, on 9, the strategy's not there as much as it is at 18. And my advice was you play it like you normally would. You play it as you, the player, would play the shot. I mean, this is how I'll play the hole, whether it's a driver or whatever it is.
You take care of your own business. You're
Let's
the
go to
leader of the team. Take care of your own business.
16, Jose Le Ballester, Arizona State senior. Tee shot on the way at the par 3. Bushnell tells us 145 front, 163 hole, and barely keep it on the back at 169.
Good shot there for Jose Le.
Now Koiven here at the 16th as well. Arizona State, Auburn securely moving on to match play, fighting for that #1 seed.
Yeah, 2 of the best amateurs in the world playing together.
And 2 really good golf shots.
Another good golf shot there for Jackson. Had it going earlier, then let it slip away there at 12, 13, 14. Starting to steady himself.
All right, Lasasso strolling on up there, just a little stroll in the park, smile on his face, sees his teammates, knows he's hit a good shot. Individually, he's got a 2-shot lead. Rebels have a 1-shot lead on Florida State. Still some work to do. You gotta kind of stay, I mean, you gotta have some fun, enjoy the moment, but you still gotta stay focused. You gotta be ready. You gotta plan on Clanton making his putt if I'm Lasasso and paying attention to my business.
And with Ballester and Koiven playing 16, they're currently 6 shots back. So let's say Lasasso 2 putts for par, in at 11 under. Mathematically, not the individual champion yet. A couple more shots, but
Yes.
there is the prospects. Everyone could just start holing out in the last 2 holes. So
We've seen crazy things in this game.
can't give it that designation for the time being. But this is, Jim, the dynamic of, all right, a team's trying to make it to that 8th and final spot, Florida State and Ole Miss.
Yeah, and that's, you know, they're great teams. I mean, when you look at it, I think we had 7 SEC teams, 4 Big 12, 3 from the ACC, and you had the Pepperdine in from West Coast Conference. So it's you know, these are some of the best teams in the country, some of the best young players in the country. And it just means, you know, so much of these, they've worked so hard all year long to get to this point.
And you have Trey Jones right there, longtime head coach at Florida State. Chris Malloy for the Rebels right there with the Lasasso. Go back 10+ years ago, Chris Malloy was the assistant coach for Trey Jones at Florida State. You hang around this sport long enough, you can connect the dots pretty easily.
Yeah, you got to make sure you don't burn too many bridges. But Coach Malloy's done a great job at Ole Miss. Of course, Trey Jones as well. He, you know, if I'm a young player, you got to look at both those schools. But Callum Scott now from Texas Tech. Speaking of good players. Texas Tech made a rally. They were 9 under at one point yesterday. Shot 2 under, which was one of the best scores in the afternoon. They're going to come up a little bit short. They're tied right there at the 11th spot. But Greg Sands, talking about another good coach who does a great job. He gets some great players to come to Lubbock. One comes to mind, Oberg. He was pretty good. I know it's disappointing for Callum Scott. I know they wanted to make the match play. All right, Clanton now for birdie.
When you have a putt that you have to make, you just have to make sure that you don't overcompensate with speed.
This putt looks like it wants to turn pretty good from right to left, but I think it kind of stays up on that right-hand side. It'll break a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, it goes early, then it does straighten out. Yep. He's going to kind of look at this, like you said, right here. He feels like that's the spot he's got to roll it on. Kind of make it into 2 parts on this putt. This for birdie. Did he?
Stay up.
But
Oh, man.
Great effort.
Yep, sure was. He wanted it. Obviously. Right now, Florida State's at 12 over.
And finished.
It finished.
So it would take a 3-putt here by Michael Lasasso
Correct.
to have a playoff for that 8th and final team
Check
spot.
that reaction. You don't think he wanted it? No, his team. They've had some heartbreak the last couple of years. 2nd place last year, lost to the Gators at Greyhawk a couple years ago. Lasasso now, this for birdie.
Tell you what, he hit that with some pace. Lucky it caught the
Well,
hole.
that's what I'm thinking. Now you just got to kind of settle your hands down here. Saw the lead do that last week a few times, so take a deep breath. Done this 1,000 times to get the Rebels into the match play. He's done it. The Rebs have done it. Still some golf to play. What a great week. Some great golf. 11 under par. Up and down day, but he finished it off. Michael Lasasso, your champion, individual champion. Rebels off to match play.
come on, boys.
Yes, my friends have been texting me from Ole Miss. Hotty toddy. The Rebs have done it. They're off to match play. So is Michael Lasasso. We'll be right back.
Natty, baby.
The Fred Haskins Award, presented by Stiefel. Auburn freshman Jackson Coiben won twice, including the SEC individual title, while leading the nation in top 3 finishes. Coiben is the first Auburn Tiger to capture the Haskins, and the first freshman to win since Alabama's Justin Thomas in 2012. The Fred Haskins Award, presented by Stiefel.
The race for 8 in the books. The Rebels from Ole Miss getting the job done. They're moving on to match play as our coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships continues from Carlsbad, California, and it is presented by AT&T. And with an even par 72 in the final round, the Rebel Michael Lasasso, the junior, getting the job done, an NCAA individual champion. There he is, joining Braden Thornberry as the only other Rebel to take home college golf's most prestigious honor. And his first 9, the back 9, there were hiccups, Jim, but let me tell you, coming down the stretch, the guy was pretty solid.
He was. Hiroshi Tai won last year's individual. Georgia Tech lost in a playoff this morning to Wake Forest. Wake Forest actually made 3 birdies this morning.
What?
Hiroshi Tai can play some golf. That's a nice putt there. Made it as an individual, and 2, maybe 3 guys making it as an individual.
And think of the guys he beat last year who finished tied for second. Ben James, Gordon Sargent, Jackson Coiven, Luke Clanton.
Yeah, how about the finish at 8? I'm in his group, and he's hit it like almost up on the highway with no chance to even try to make double, and does, and then goes on to win. He finished early, sat around and ended up winning. But right now, the job at hand is make sure that scorecard's correct. You heard him say 16, I made it 2.
He caught it. Didn't want to sign for a shot higher.
Oh.
Although it wouldn't have made a difference, but
Still don't want to do it.
still don't want to do it.
Tee shot on the way at 16 for Arizona State's Connor Williams.
A good shot. I'm not sure how you can keep it right there. That pitch is on a downslope.
Arizona State, Auburn, they're tied at the top as a team at 11 under. 11 under, good enough for Michael Lasasso to get the job done here. 2 clear. Apishak Maishan from Texas A&M. Preston Stout, another good week. He is really a huge part of this resurgence for the Cowboys. That won 6 times this season. They got late, hot in the fall, kept it going in the spring. You see Koiven and Bias there rounding out the top 5. And can't overlook that 69 by Paul Chang for Virginia. That putt on 9. Ultimately, they're going to make it by 2, but at the moment, gave them hope and belief they would move on to match play, which they are.
Yeah, that was much needed right there. And there's your champ.
There's Michael Lasasso from Ole Miss and his head coach, Chris Malloy, happy as well as we send it down to Billy Ray Brown.
All right, Burko. Coach, pretty good day today. You get the individual champion, and now you move on to match play. When you start the season off like you do, I know you set high goals, but could you imagine being able to move to match play and also have an individual champion?
No, and again, you talk about those things, right. you say it, but to actually see them do it, and it's such a long year, right? Your fall and spring, and to be with these guys every day, to watch their highs, to watch their lows, and to end up in this spot, again, with Mike winning individually, and the fun really begins tomorrow is awesome.
Well, speaking of tomorrow, now you've been in the medal play aspect mindset. What do you say to the team tonight to get ready for match play?
Free it up. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long day, and again, play for birdies and continue to play aggressively. We tried to play aggressively this week. We haven't put the ball great yet, but stay in that same mindset and let's go.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Hotty toddy.
Burko, there you go.
Yeah, there it is. That was for Jim Gallagher Jr., the hottie toddy. The Rebels getting the job done. They've had some missteps trying to get through regionals in prior years, so to make it happen, to get to La Costa, to make it to match play, give them a big tip of the cap as we watch Van Galen, the Oklahoma freshman, here at 16.
163-hole location over there in that left-hand corner.
Good one there, getting a little bit better, and we've got another moment. We're going to send it down to Amelia.
Thank you, Burko. Michael Lasasso right here, your individual NCAA champion. As you're trying to win individually, you're also trying to help your team make match play. On the 9th green, you had about 15 feet. What were those nerves like?
I was talking with Coach before I was hitting the putt, kind of knowing where we stood. Luke's putt looked really good, so I thought I would have to make. But kind of just played a little softer after that and just was trying to get it down in 2.
What is the most meaningful part about being a national champion as you're the second Rebel since Braden Thornberry to do so?
Yeah, there was a little rough patch there kind of at the middle of the round. Kind of being able to bounce back from that is something truly special, especially for myself and how this year has gone. So really being able to do that is pretty special.
It was a great bounce back, Michael. Congratulations. Go celebrate with your team.
Thank you so much.
Michael Lasasso, an NCAA individual champion, but Chris Malloy, the head coach for the Rebels, no, the work truly has just begun. Michael's taking care of business. Now time for us to do the same, and they'll have a date Tuesday morning right here in the quarterfinals.
Catch the ball.
Originally designed by Dick Wilson and opened in 1965, Omni La Costa's North Course previously served as home to notable PGA Tour events. For 30 years, the resort hosted the Mercedes Championships, which was originally called the Tournament of Champions from 1969 to 1998. And then in 1999, Omni La Costa hosted the inaugural WGC Accenture Match Play Championship, as well as 6 other editions. And then in 2010 and 2012, the resort hosted the Kia Classic, a popular stop on the LPGA Tour. And now this week, John, for the second consecutive year, the men's and women's NCAA championships.
Yeah, it's a great venue for it. It's a great match play golf course. It's a great medal play golf course. There's a lot of variety. They can change this golf course round to round. It will never play the same day to day. It's just a wonderful piece of golf.
All right, let's head over to 8. Hiroshi Tai getting ready to go, and according to Bushnell, 126 yards to the hole.
He has bad memories from this hole last year, but
Most improved.
he would have most improved is right.
All right, from 8 to 16, Connor Williams, Arizona State, has this for birdie. Had a hiccup earlier on the back nine, so at the moment, a non-counting score for ASU. That's 12 under, 1 clear of Auburn for that #1 seed heading into match play tomorrow.
Yeah, made that quadruple 8 back there at the 13th hole. Really had a chance to win the individual title. Good run there.
Yeah, it's starting to take shape. The quarterfinal matchups we will see tomorrow. Again, 1 and 2 still kind of up for grabs, but everything else coming together nicely, John. Shaping up to be, as Chris Malloy said a short time ago, a really long day, but a really fun day.
Yeah, absolutely. If you start looking at the board here, and you got Oklahoma State.
That's going to be the
sitting in that 4
yeah.
and 5.
Yeah,
they would play each other.
I just saw that. That ought to be interesting.
Clark Van Galen from Oklahoma, this for a 2 at 16. You see Ryan Hibble, the head coach for the Sooners, right there, just off the back part of the green.
Yeah, this will go a little left early and then peel back to the right, so a little double breaker.
Really?
Sooners won it all 8 years ago, 2017 at Rich Harvest Farms, just outside of Chicago. Back to the green at 8, Pablo Areno from UCLA. He's playing well, and you look up that leaderboard, he's currently tied for 5th, 3 under here on this last day of stroke play.
Yeah, playing for some much needed PGA Tour U points. He's well within the top 20, even in the top 10, so trying to get in that top 5 so they goes to
just have the final status out on the Korn Ferry Tour, exempt into the final stage of Q School. The wonderful initiative, now 5 years old, that creates a pathway for seniors and 4th-year juniors to have a place to go right after these championships are over.
Yeah, it rewards those players that did stay there 4 or 5 years and give them a pathway to the PGA Tour if they're, not in the accelerated program, which a lot of these players don't get that opportunity to play in a lot of those PGA Tour events.
Well, all these players know where they stand, and it's amazing. I've been friends enough with enough of these young guys that they know exactly where they are in the standings and what it'll take to get even further up.
And you think about the accelerated program for the younger college golfers here for the men. Luke Clanton's got his points, and Jackson Coiven will have point number 20, even though he said he's coming back to Auburn for his junior year. Gordon Sargent had the 20 points a year ago, came back to Vanderbilt for his senior season, was not in the starting lineup at regionals or this week here at the NCAAs. Quite honestly, has just been struggling to find the form he had as a freshman when he won the individual championship. All right, tie for 2 here at 8.
Slow putt, big breaker from right to left. Got it out there high enough, hard enough, not quite.
Going to fall a little short in 2025, but go back 12 months ago. What a week, what a final day it was for Hiroshi Tai here at La Costa. He was 3 strokes back entering the final day of the individual competition. This was at the 3rd. Remember, he was finishing up on the front side. We thought, could he post He did. He would finish at 3 under, and then he waited to see if players like Koiven, Sargent, James, and others could catch him. They couldn't. Hiroshi Tai became the 4th Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket to win an individual championship at the NCAAs. We are back at 18. Jose Le Ballesteros, the U.S. Amateur champ, 3 under on the day.
Using the tee up this week, 325 through the fairway on the left at that fountain. And that was a little anxious up that right-hand side. That depends on the lie. That might have a go at the green, but probably a layup.
Take a look at those PGA Tour U rankings we were talking about a short time ago. David Ford, the senior from North Carolina, 5 victories this year, but he and the Tar Heels did not qualify for the NCAA championships, but he had done enough to secure that #1 spot. Headed right to the PGA Tour. We'll have a card all the way through the end of 2026. We have seen what others, Ludwig Oberg, Jim referenced it earlier, can do at that spot. You talked about Pablo Arreño there at 12th. Maybe he jumps into the top 10 and goes from the PGA Tour Americas to the Korn Ferry Tour. But the fact that 25 opportunities await these young men, I really think it's a game changer for college golf to the next level.
No question about it. It's a reward for those players that did stay in school.
Koiven's turn now at the last.
A little bobble right there in the middle of the incoming 9 holes. Other than that, another great week for a solid young player.
Yeah, when he made the birdie at 11, you start saying,
yeah,
a few back, you never know.
He was only a couple back at that time.
A little bit down the fairway at 18. Preston Summerhays, senior for Arizona State, his 3rd.
Seems like he's been in college a long time.
Well, we've been talking about him a long time because he's really talented, and he's hit a lot of shots like those.
Yeah, good player. We'll take it to the next level. See how he progresses through that progression.
1 seed still up for grabs. Will it be Arizona State or the champs from a year ago, the Auburn Tigers? We'll find out when we come back to Carlsbad. Monday coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Golf Championships continues from Omni La Casa Resort and Spa, and it is presented by Stiefel. Michael Lasasso, the individual champion from Ole Miss. Teams now making their way into match play, including the Florida Gators, champs from 2 years ago. Their head coach, J.C. Deacon, is down with Brentley.
JC, Florida, on to the knockout stage. What's impressed you about these Gators through these 4 days?
Just someone keeps stepping up every day. Had great contributions all around, and had an unreal finish from the guys today. I think yesterday was tough round, little blip there, but we had a great team meeting last night, reset, and I think we're the low round of the day, and that's a big deal going into match play.
What did you figure out this golf course since the first time you guys played it?
We learned a lot last year the hard way. We didn't play very well, but I think took a lot from it, and you know, the more you get to see a place, the more you learn and where you can miss and stuff. But our guys have adjusted well all year, and I'm just so excited. We got a tee time tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
Well, if anyone knows how to win a national championship, it's the Gators. JC, good point. We'll see you tomorrow.
Brentley, thanks, buddy.
Small sample size, but the last 2 SEC champions have gone on to win the national championship. Florida in 2023, Auburn last year, the SEC champs in 25, the boys from Gainesville.
Back at 17, Connor Williams from Arizona State. This is a tough putt for just long. Goes down the hill, right where that shadow is, it goes back up the hill. It's kind of in a plateau. I mean, I don't know, John, how you get it close on this.
I don't either. I was looking at this pin today, and I'm going, it's a tiny little area right there. It's short. It goes back down towards the front of the green, and where he's putting from goes up a slope and then down the other side.
I think just dropping it out of your pocket may be the only way. That's how I did it this morning. Just dropped it and it stayed there. He's at 4 under for the tournament. As we mentioned, Arizona State, a couple shot lead over Auburn for that 1 spot. As it stands now, Arizona State would play Ole Miss, Auburn, Virginia, Florida, Texas, and the 2 Oklahomas. So we'll see.
Jump ahead to 18. Jackson Koiven, his second, going to give it a go, John.
Yeah, just as we suspected. Good tee shot. Why not give it a go? He's got plenty of length. Short and to the right is just fine and dandy. I think that's the one thing about these par fives, Steve, is you got to know where your misses are. And hole high and beyond are not good places to be on these par fives. Anything short on the wide side, that's your miss.
Brennan Valdez, he's 4 over today, technically still counting. I remember him winning the Nota Begay 4, maybe 5, I guess it was 5 years ago, beat Nick Dunlap. One of the fastest players in junior golf. Love the speed he played. Look what he's done in college. So he's just kept getting better and better. Got his hair cut. That's what I noticed. I told him, I said he had the hair going, flowing, but good
got
player.
The flow.
He had the flow going. Still got a little bit of flow going. So Auburn just 2 back of Arizona State. Still got 1 hole to play.
Up at 18, Jose Le Ballester, his third, looking to get up and down, finish with birdie.
Yeah, has it on the wide side. Hole cut in the middle of the green towards that left edge of the green. Don't want to be a little too frisky with this and hit it by. It'll go down off the other side, leaving a tough pitch shot. Check and release, good catch, good contact.
We saw a lot of that last summer
Yes, we did.
at Hazeltine at the U.S. Amateur. Jose Le Ballester making it all the way to that championship match, a 36-hole showdown against Noah Kent, and kind of opened up the doors for Ballester. Let's pick it up in the afternoon, 18, the 29th hole. Had a 3-up lead at the moment. You're thinking, all right, maybe Noah Kent with a chance. Well, Ballester said, not right now.
No, hit a great bunker shot up around the green in 2. Beautiful little bunker shot right there.
Got a 4-up lead. Kent did rally, ultimately making it to the green at 18. The concession here after that lag by Ballester. A 2-up victory for Jose Le Ballester, winning on his 21st birthday, becoming the first U.S. Amateur champion from Spain and the 4th player from Arizona State to win the U.S. Amateur, joining Billy Mayfair, Phil Mickelson, and Jeff Quinney.
Opens up a lot of doors for you, that is for sure.
Played in the Masters, missed the cut there. Will play in the U.S. Open and the Open Championship as well later this summer. And then you think that performance, John, that you and I saw, you go into match play, you got to be careful who you're throwing up against Jose Le Ballester.
No doubt about it.
17th hole, Williams now for his par. A little bit of a slider here.
Yeah, got to keep the speed up.
He does. That's a nice solid putt. That's a good 2-putt. That's always what he said. 4 right here at this whole location. Bad mistake at 13. That's a big number. Pablo Areno here at 9. 3rd shot. UCLA. Top 25 in 10 of his 12 events. Well, good shot there. Let's make it 11 or 13, because right now he is tied for 4th. That was a good chip shot there. Almost made it. Sometimes it's kind of awkward playing as an individual. You're there with the whole team, but you're still here with them. But nonetheless, you want to have as good a finish as you can, personally.
All right, we're going to head to the tee at 18, watch Arizona State's Connor Williams, and we'll follow this mighty lash with our tracer technology presented by AT&T.
Right at that fountain, you can see right through the fairway, 325 to the run out. You don't want it any further than that, or you got to squeeze it up the right-hand side. Let's play back into the wind just a little bit today. Wind's not really howling. And that'll depend on the lie whether he'll lay that ball up or give it a go. Not near as much rough this year as there was last year.
And with another year of experience for a lot of the people here, they know where to miss and where not to, as you referenced a short time ago. Let's head to the green at 18. Ryder Cowan, Oklahoma Sooner, the sophomore from Edmond, Oklahoma. Finished tied for 67th here a year ago, so improving on that. 6 top 10 finishes this season, tied for 10th at regional, so coming in with good form. That's what you want to see, John, if you're a head coach. Who's playing well, who's peaking, if at all possible, this part of the year.
And the consistency. You know who your big guns are. You can rely on those guys. It's that 3, 4, 5 position that you want consistency out of. You don't want to see high, big numbers, because that puts a lot of pressure on the other 4 players. So you want consistency. Auburn, they're throwing out like 73s and 4s. That's why they were at the top, coming into today.
And when you have this guy in the back end of your lineup, Jackson Koiven, who usually makes putts like this, watch out.
That's wasting daylight making him putt that. He's as good a putter as there is in the game.
4 rounds under par for the sophomore. Grew up in Northern California, moved to Chapel Hill shortly before his college career started, and he has not disappointed. See if Jose Le Ballester can match with a birdie of his own.
Nice little pitch shot from right of the green. Right, we're not too far from where Jackson Koiven hit his pitch shot. 2 of the best players in amateur golf right here playing together.
.68 final round for Ballester, inside the top 5 at the individual championship. We continue on this Memorial Day, once again remembering and honoring those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our country and our freedom. We're back on 18, a few players remaining on the course. This is Oklahoma freshman Clark Van Galen from Turlock, California, twice a runner-up this year, including a tie for 2nd at regionals 2 weeks ago.
A very talented freshman. Ball sitting down a little bit. Looks like he's going to give this a go. Has to carry it over a little cross hazard. Took a mighty lash. Yeah, that'll get in that little pitching area. Depends on the lie, and hey, he got past hole high though, and now this is where it gets tricky. This is where it gets tricky. If you're going to miss on these par 5s, it better be short on the wide side.
Keep it here with Connor Williams from Arizona State.
Pretty good lie as well. Looks like that's kind of a left lean as well. It catches that tree. Oh, got a nice break to get through it. Dropped down in a pretty nasty lie. That'll have to be some sort of a bump shot.
It's going a la John Cook, no hat, letting that hair flow.
Back in the day, if I wore a hat, it was a visor.
I used to wear a visor too, but look what happened to me.
Take a look at some of the recent individual Division I men's national champions. Go back a decade ago, Bryson DeChambeau at SMU, Aaron Wise, Braden Thornberry. You see a lot of guys on the PGA Tour, major champs as well. But this week it belonged to Michael Lasasso, the junior for the Ole Miss Rebels. Started the day with a lead, John, and you always wonder how things are going to come out of the gate. Started on the back 9, so some hiccups, including this double bogey at 15.
Yeah, birdie 10 and 11 right out of the blocks.
Hit his tee shot into the penalty area, leading to that double. Would he bounce back at 16?
Yeah, seemed to kind of settle down a little bit. And we get to 17. And he makes double at 17.
But then he sort of got his footing. Pars at 18, 1, 2, 3, and this for a birdie at 4.
Yeah, steadied himself, made some pars. Nice birdie there at the 5th. And after a incredible break at the 6 off his tee shot, seemingly going out of play, hits it up there just short right of the green, short on the wide side of the green at the par 5. Nice up and down, and nice save at 7. Quality shot at 8, 2 good shots at 9, and a 2-putt for the win.
And he becomes the second Rebel to win the NCAA Individual Championship, joining Braden Thornberry, who won 8 years ago. NCAA Championships presented by Stiefel, where success meets success. AT&T, connecting changes everything. Omni La Costa Resort and Spa, play the possibilities. And Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. We are back at the North Course. A few players remaining on this final day of stroke play. That's Connor Williams, Arizona State, and you knew that was always going to be tough.
That was going to be tough. Yeah, that was out of the rough. I thought he might try to play a little bank shot, little runner.
Arizona State currently the top seed as of now, 14 under, 2 clear of Auburn. Since the switch to match play in 2009 for the men, only one #1 seed has won a national championship. 2018, Oklahoma State at home at Karsten Creek. That team was that good. So
that team was stacked.
Not sure you want #1 for what that is worth. That is Van Galen from that collection area.
Yeah, he was going to have to play a little bump shot into that slope, and wise to put it past the flag. Sometimes you get handcuffed. Like I said, if you're hole high or beyond hole high on these par 5s, you got your work cut out for you.
But then you look at Auburn in second, 2 behind the Sun Devils. Nick Kleiner telling his team earlier in the week, let's go win stroke play. Sometimes that is the best team in the country that can get the job done over 72 holes. They understand what it takes to make the pivot to match play, as they did in 2024, winning it all, the program's first national title. So every coach has a different dynamic message, those secret words to get their players to perform their very best.
Yeah, and they're the defending champions. The target was square on their back as they're coming here, and they've had a wonderful season. Ranked #1 is to start the week anyway.
And this is Williams' 4th, and if it doesn't go, Connor Williams is a non-counting score at 2 over par for the Sun Devils. So ASU will be locked in at 14 under. So barring something unforeseen, they will be the #1 seed.
Yeah, this will be pitching on a downslope going away from him. So that brings long and down into that pitching area into play. Yeah, pretty well done. See how it kept the speed up, nice and wide, low hands, face open, textbook. Look at Howard Twitty back there, volunteer coach for the Sun Devils. Old tour player, won 2 or 3 times on the PGA Tour.
We've seen that a lot. Howard with the Sun Devils, Dudley Hart, a 2-time PGA Tour winner, assistant coach for the Florida Gators. Doesn't hurt to pick the brain of somebody that's played at the very highest level.
That's what I would say. Go find some knowledge. I mean, some of us old guys, we so appreciate the young talents. There's so much to learn about this game going up to the next levels.
As we watch Van Galen from Oklahoma getting ready for birdie, what has been the biggest change since you were at Ohio State to the players we see out here this week, some 40 years later? What jumps off the page to you to say, man, oh man, that wasn't like that when I played?
It's like the quantity of really good players. I think the best players of all eras are all very, very similar, but there's just more quality players. And I think the junior programs around the country, in Europe, overseas. The coaches are recruiting from all over the world. It's very much a global game. I think too the short games of these players are overall, it's pretty impressive to watch these kids hit pitch shots around a lot of these really tough areas.
Non-counter for Van Galen and the Sooners, but they're locked in that 4-5 spot, which means they're going to go up against their folks from Stillwater in Oklahoma State. Brendan Valdez from Auburn, senior from Orlando, Florida, finishing up, looking to do it with birdie.
Gave it a nice effort right there.
He was part of that national championship team from a year ago, had surgery on his right hand in November to repair some bone spurs and some other issues. Missed the spring opener. They erred on the side of caution. Let's get you healthy. Let's get you ready. And he's been a mainstay the last 3.5 months for head coach Nick Kleinert.
Yeah, just a quality player.
Dependable is what jumps off the page to me when I think about Brendan Valdez. You just know he's going to be there to contribute.
And that's what you want from your top guys is Jackson Koiven, Brendan Valdez. They're your two horses on this team, the leaders.
Yeah, and even though Brendan shot 76 today, every opportunity, he kept at it.
Yep.
Gave it 100%.
That's what you want to see.
Now Williams to finish up this for par. And this gives you a sense of, Connor's not going to count at 2 over, so they're throwing out 74. You're okay with that. Valdez, one of 2 players to shoot 76, but as J.C. Deacon said to Brentley a short time ago, the head coach from Florida, it's somebody else stepping up each and every day.
Have to have that.
A lot of good golf on this Memorial Day as stroke play wrapping up on the final day. 72 holes of stroke play, and this is what we want to see. The brackets are set down to the final 8 teams. Quarterfinal action coming your way on Tuesday morning. And I look at that bottom left. They call it Bedlam for a reason. The Cowboys and Sooners squaring off about 12 hours from now. Stroke play in the books here. 2025 NCAA Men's Division I Golf Championships. We know the 8 teams that are moving on to match play starting on Tuesday morning. We've had an individual champion crowned earlier today, and time for the trophy presentation as we send it down to Amelia.
It was a battle of perseverance for Michael Lasasso to win the NCAA Individual Championship. To begin this trophy presentation, would like to introduce NCAA Division I Men's Golf Committee Chair John Hoskariyog, who has some hardware to hand out.
Absolutely. On behalf of the NCAA Division I Men's Golf Committee, it's my honor to present to you the 2025 NCAA Individual Championship Trophy. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you so much.
Michael, you called this final round an up and down day, had a couple of double bogeys to start off the round. What did you need to channel in your game to flip that switch?
Just kind of having a good mindset, good head on your shoulders. There was a lot of golf out there that had to be played in the afternoon. So I knew I was going to a 9 that I was pretty comfortable with. So I just wanted to keep my head high and see what I can do.
What's the difficulty of having that good mindset when you're not only trying to win individually, but your Ole Miss team is also on the bubble to try and get into that top 8 for match play, which you secured, by the way?
I know it was a nail biter coming down the stretch. I know I was looking at Coach a lot, asking where we stood. And, kind of after my approach shot on hole 9, our 18th hole, he was like, cherish this moment walking up to the green. He said that once before this season, but this one truly felt good.
What's the journey like with your Ole Miss teammates to get to this point?
Yeah, we've been through a lot this season. I love them to death. They've been here for me the whole season. I'm glad I was here for them today. And being able to go play match play, I think for the first time in Ole Miss history is pretty special.
Well, congratulations, Michael, on your individual performance and your team's fight today.
Thank you so much.
Burko, back to you.
Still work to be done for those Ole Miss Rebels, Amelia, but maybe as the women did 4 years ago at Greyhawk, led by Julia Johnson. A national championship perhaps in the offing for the men and head coach Chris Malloy, but they're going to savor this moment. Michael Lasasso, an individual national champion. 8 teams remain on this early evening in Carlsbad, California. John, they've accomplished what they wanted to, at least to a point, to make it to match play starting Tuesday morning in the quarters to have a chance to win a national championship. How do all these squads and players reset and realize everyone's starting at zero?
Mission. This is what our mission is. All 8 of these teams are ranked in the top 10. That's how close these teams are. And that message is just, it's match play. Anything can happen. Let's put the pedal down and let's go. Play as good as we can. Get to the finish line.
The seedings are great, but go back a year ago here at La Costa, the 5 seed, the 6 seed, the 7 seed, and the 8 seed all won their quarterfinal matches. Michael Lasasso, maybe a future in modeling if the golfing doesn't work out. He's an NCAA individual champ. Congratulations to the Rebel Junior getting the job done here today. Coming up next, it is Golf Central, setting the stage. A busy week ahead in women's golf, the U.S. Women's Open on tap. And be sure to join us tomorrow, quarterfinals coverage of the team portion of the Division I Men's Championship that comes your way tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll be back for the semifinals at 6 p.m. Eastern time right here on Golf Channel. 8 remain, only 1 will be standing on this Memorial Day. Again, our thanks to all that have defended our country for the entire team. Steve Burkowski saying so long for now.